Futures gaining ground here so far this morning ahead of a key inflation print coming up this morning at 10 o'clock. We'll get actually two, PCE and University of Michigan sentiment data to end off what has been a pretty interesting week here. We were relatively flat to start here this morning until a recent move back higher has both the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 back in positive territory. Ton of things moving around. Netflix, a little bit of volatility. We're back to basically flat at this point, but it looks like it is going to be Netflix and Warner Brothers on this tie-up. We'll see if we get any more details as far as that is concerned coming up later this morning. Tesla, that new low-cost Model 3 that we got in the U.S. and Model Y actually in the U.S. and Model 3. Model 3 is going over to Europe. So we've had nothing but negative sales prints for Tesla specifically in Europe all week long. I guess Elon wants to test the waters here on lower prices maybe.
Yeah.
See how that goes.
Well, for sure, Brendo, he's competing with these Chinese EVs. We're undercutting him on price, so he's got to respond. We'll see how it goes. Good morning, guys. There is a lot to talk about for a Friday. Brendo mentioning it right off the top. Warner Brothers, Discovery, and Netflix with a tie-up. So it's going to be $82.7 billion at $27.75 a share. It's expected to close within 12 to 18 months. NVIDIA also in focus as the Senate looks to pass the Safe Chips Act, basically block them from exporting to China, and AMD also getting the nod, Brendo, for their China variant, the MI308, but they're going to have to pay a 15% export fee. Apple also has people coming in, coming out. Their head of their general counsel leaving, but they're bringing in somebody from Meta, kind of giving the feeling that maybe the antitrust push by the government is not all said and done as they look to war up.
Yeah, the AMD China angle kind of interesting here this morning, coming on the back of the announcement we got about NVIDIA, and delayed 2.5 years at least.
Exactly.
And then they give the go-ahead to AMD if they're going to pay for it. Then sure, why not? Here is how the calendar looks this morning. Again, this is all going to happen at 10 a.m. Eastern, so mark that down. The core PCE reading, again, it's a delayed data point because of the government shutdown. So we're still working through some of the September data. So will it or won't it actually move the market, or will it or won't it even tell us anything at this point as far as what is going to happen next week? Remember, Fed meeting coming up next Wednesday, 2 p.m. Make sure you're with us. And then we'll also get this down here, Michigan Consumer Sentiment, which has the 5-year and 1-year inflation expectation point in it as well. Again, all at 10 o'clock. So it could be a little bit quiet here until we get some of this data coming through later on this morning. Neil with the day off today. Obi's in. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, everybody. Yes, well, Obi, welcome to once again to the desk here. And how has your week been?
It's been solid. Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, how about yours?
Good, great. I mean, absolutely. It's been fantastic this week. We changed our strategy a little bit. We're getting in like around 9:40. We're letting the first couple bars close on the 5-minute, see what's happening, see if we can get some levels developed, and then we're stepping in. So we're doing pretty good right here. What's not doing pretty good is SoFi. I know we talked about that, a little bit of an offering here. I actually bought more shares in the pre-market. So I just went in, bought some more shares in my account here. I've been waiting to get longer on SoFi, and I'm going to take the opportunity now. It's not down that far. We'll put a little bit of money back into it, 2, 3, 4, 5% of the account back into SoFi there. We've been selling some stuff, so we want to buy something. And I want to get away from the tech name, but there's SoFi there raising, I think it was, what is that exact number there today? It's a big one for SoFi. I'll get that number anyways. It's just an offering to, there it is, 54.5 million shares, so $1.5 billion in proceeds. Just for growth and try to get, some of their, I don't know if they're going to be, what they're going to be working on or whatever, but just to stabilize sort of their cash position here. And I like SoFi down at these levels. And then I came in today, and what stock did you mention to me?
Warner Brothers?
No.
Oh, no. SMX.
Yeah, SMX
Wow.
again.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen this one this morning, but this thing absolutely crazy. On a bit of a multi-day runner, we hit $445 in the pre-market today. I came in and sat down around 7:37. I looked at it, and I already had the book open up. And I'm like, wait, what? 300? Wasn't this at 150 just last night? Kind of, I remember kind of looking at this break back down below this 150, right, going into the close. And yeah, another stair step up higher and another squeeze. So it's looking like, I said, it's kind of a slow burn HKD.
Yeah, we were saying that,
That's
yeah,
what it's
yesterday.
looking like right now.
The
so.
security matters. This was a quite an aggressive mover yesterday. It's basically come from nowhere, obviously. It's been reverse split. It's been everything. It's been chopped up. I mean, I was just looking at this. It was $5, last week or so. Okay. So up to $440. And then this is the spread right now, $2.50. I saw some people in the chat talking a little bit about that spread. Remember, there's a lot of dark pool prints coming off right now. So like, some of these prints that are going off on the time and sales, 350, 370, 380. These are all just late reports, obviously, from overnight or in the pre-market. So, the real spread right now is about $4 to $5. It's pretty limited to your trading because it's you have no idea where to put your stop orders, and I would say let this one settle down. If you want to take a shot in the pre-market, maybe try to do something. Now that Safe Chips Act is kind of interesting too, because I kind of agree with it. Like, I don't know if we want to be shipping too many of these. I say we're here in Canada, but I don't know if NVIDIA wants to ship too many of these high-powered chips over here into China to get them going. Building on them and just giving them the sort of the same powers of the technology that we do have here in the United States with NVIDIA. Some protectionism act there happening, and I think it's fine. NVIDIA is not really finding too much from that. Remember, NVIDIA's numbers were ex-China anyways when they released them, so I don't worry too much about that. And they can still purchase the lower end chips, and it's just going to help out names like, there's AMD is up today as well. I think it's going to help out obviously names like in Alibaba if they get ahead now and are able to maybe capture some more market share there in China, if their quality of chip can catch up somewhere to that of AMD and NVIDIA. So we do know they have that Quen model that's been going pretty good, and then Baidu up, and I heard that there was a story here on Baidu was a listing, the chip's AI unit right here. Kunluxin is preparing to IPO in Hong Kong. So you get Baidu up as well. Some story here about Meta AI as well today. Just hearing something about their some new offering for Meta AI, so we can see that moves around. And then the story of the day, of course, is Warner Brothers Netflix, which is going to be done at, I think it was 27.25 or 27.45, 27.75 if you add it all up together. Netflix, obviously as an acquirer, gets hit, right? Because they're going to pay its stock and cash. So it's roughly valued around $28 cash, but there is some stock aspect to that as well, about $4.50 or so in stock. So there's debt associated with this Warner Brothers deal. So WBD, it'll be interesting. Neil primarily trades buyouts, and I don't think he'll be too happy with this one because there is that stock aspect. So it does make it hard to price this name intraday. So you have to watch a little bit of Netflix stock with Warner Brothers. But I think in the age of cord cutting, I don't know about you, Obi, or the guys behind us, but content right now is going to continue to be king like it's been for a very, very long time. And if you can start to wrap up this huge studio like Warner Brothers, I think it's a good win here for Netflix and for the subscribers. I mean, whether or not, I don't know if this will accrue in higher monthly subscription fees or what, but the content's going to be there. So everybody that's flipping through, you're looking for something to do. And you have to be a fan of, entertainment and watching these things. Yeah. Many people reading, video games. There's a whole new thing here where there's not as many people watching TV related. Like my kids are primarily on YouTube, TikTok, like scrolling, death scrolling or doom scrolling through everything.
Short form content.
Yeah, it's the short form content, exactly. They watch like, you've never heard about Salish. There's like online. Anyways, doesn't matter. They all watching something. You know what my son is watching so much of now? So we're going tonight to Five Nights at Freddy's. There's the number 2 premieres tonight, so I'm taking him to that. He watches a lot of anime, and I know that it's something called JoJo. There's all these. Yeah.
He's heard of it.
Yeah, he's
watched it, but
One Punch Man, all this kind of stuff. And Netflix actually made a deal, I guess, with Crunchyroll or whomever hosts all this content. There's so much anime now and stuff like that, even on Netflix. So I think this is great, great for the space. And we saw Fox sell out last year or a couple of years ago to Disney. So Rupert Murdoch got out of the game, and I think that's the exit plan for most of these names is you're going to have to get bought out, and it looks like Warner Brothers shareholders are going to be real happy with that one, man. This was $11, $12 back in September, October, when the rumor mill started kicking, right? And then there it goes up to 27. So, wow, what a deal for Warner Brothers shareholders as they get, I would hope they get everything they want and more out of this deal, because this was, you know, fledgling as everybody was cord cutting and worried about where the space was going as far as content and you know, where that money was coming from. We know the theaters have been pretty poor, although Zootopia 2 apparently was pretty killer in the box office. But there it goes, man, 27.75. So I don't know about you guys there in the back, Brendan and Street, but I think that's going to be a pretty good deal looking at the chart. And I don't know, did you guys cut the cord yet there in the back? I know Brendo, I'm pretty sure did. And Sharif, what are you guys feeling about Netflix?
A unique situation,
Yeah.
I think. And I say that simply because any of the newer age type condos in the city, you get nothing included in the common fees. So you have a very unique situation.
I'd rather a gym, a functioning
100%,
gym,
100%.
rather than the, I've been on the fritz for a year and a half rather than paying for the cable. I mean, I don't watch 99% of the channels. I told you, the only thing I watch is news, right? And I can get that online. But this is a really good tie-up, Brendo.
100%.
A little bit more details if we can get into it a little bit, guys. So it's not just strictly you're going to get, you know, money per share. So as we mentioned, $82.7 billion. That's what the acquisition price is. It's $27.75 per share, but there's more nuance here. So the WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery current shareholders, they're going to get $23.25 per share in cash, and then they're going to get $4.50.01, Brendo, in Netflix stock per WBD share. So nice acquisition and kind of building it in. Good to see kind of the two big heavyweights kind of combine, because you're going to get a bit of pricing power there, and you're not going to have to subscribe to multiple services. And
as Sean was saying, I mean, I echo that sentiment 100% from a content standpoint. We were talking about it the other day. From a content standpoint, it's a win 100% across the board. I can confidently say I haven't had cable in 20 years.
Really, eh?
At least, if not more.
You not watch the news, though? You're not watching the news yet.
I mean, unless it's like on YouTube or on like some sort of streaming type situation. Yeah. No, it's been a long time coming, I think. A couple other things to consider. Again, if you're just joining, here's a look at the calendar this morning. A lot of people waiting for this inflation data. We are going to get PCE data coming up this morning. It's a September number, remember, so it is delayed. And that's going to be at 10 o'clock along with the Michigan consumer sentiment number. So lots to expect around that 10 o'clock time frame this morning. If you take a look at Tesla, a couple other things to talk about this morning. Tesla, one of those we mentioned over the past couple of days here, just absolutely horrid sales numbers on the car side of things coming out of Europe once again all week long. Started in Germany, went right through to the UK. We were sitting here talking about yesterday. And then we show up here this morning, and lo and behold, Elon's going to try a cheaper version of the Model 3 over in Europe to see how that goes.
It's a good look. I was talking to Joseph about this on the midday show yesterday. The Model 3 is still a relatively large car for Europe.
Exactly.
So the fact that we still have that Model 2 or that scaled down version, I think puts them at a competitive disadvantage, especially, Brendo, if you see what BYD is releasing in that content. There are a lot of small cars, more conducive to what they want over there. But let's talk about what happened here. So they launched, as Brendo mentioned, a lower price Model 3 across key European markets. We're talking about Germany, Norway, Sweden. So in Germany, it's going to cost about 37,000, more like 38,000 euros. Norway, it's about 330,000 Norwegian kroners. Sweden, about 450,000 there. It's going to have the same type of range, Brendo, same sort of basics inside. You remove the back screen. There's some stuff that's not included. Same sort of basics.
All the people in Europe and anyone who has been there is, you know, the first thing that comes to mind is the simple fact that everything's very close. So range maybe not the most important, you know, detail that can come along with that. Just be aware, Fed Chair in waiting, Kevin Hassett, is speaking right now, talking about expectations for Q3 GDP growth. How shocking no one, he thinks rates should be lower. So Kevin Hassett making some comments right now.
All right. Sorry, I was just responding to that Death Trader there in the chat and asking if SoFi too early to buy. I bought some more here in the pre-market. Okay, you just had the chart up for Tesla. I mean, you were talking to me about something interesting last night here on the show. Into the close, there was an imbalance, and what did you notice with that imbalance? You mentioned the notional amount.
Yeah,
so if we go over to Obi's chart, yeah.
So right here, so you can see, okay, so we know that imbalances come out at 50. Let's just go down to the 1 minute chart and take a look at how Tesla reacted into those imbalances. You can see right here, catching a bid and then breaking out of this little consolidation that finally reclaimed on top of VWAP right here. Nice little push. And yeah, notionally one of the biggest buy imbalances in the Nasdaq market here, and you can see aggressive push. Let's just take a quick measurement right there. So about a 0.69, 0.67 push into the close, broke high a day there as well, which was nice. And coming into the pre-market, we're consolidating, holding above that. So I like that. I like that look. Let's see if we can continue to do a little bit of a stair step up, right? Leg consolidation, leg? Question mark? That's what I'm asking. 456.92s is the pre-market high on Tesla. And yeah, I think, again, another reason for this bid is another presidential seal trade where he's just like, okay, well, now we're going to put money into robotics.
Yep.
So not only Tesla is on watch, we got other stocks like Ridge Tech Robotics, RR. I know a lot of people kind of are involved in that one here. So you can see that one's been doing some relative volume and has had a bit of a multi-day bid. Earnings support as well from yesterday or 2 days ago. Today is going to be earnings day 3, and we're almost at $5 here. So yeah, coming into the end of the week, let's see if we can get that last little into that $5 area. That should be interesting.
The IRBT?
IRBT.
It's actually a little bit more impressive than Ridge Tech Robotics. Just the move that it had on that day. They're both extremely.
Yeah, wow, look at that.
Yeah, it was a nice move. And a cheap stock as well. So getting that back in and quite a decent short float on that one. I thought we were looking at 45% or something for the short float for IRBT. But
yeah, I think this one.
What is that move there? What did you just do there? What percent was that?
Oh, yeah, I just did a quick measurement, 85%.
Wow, okay.
85% in the past 2 days there. Something else that's been.
You're not long?
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
You're not long $1.50, man?
That's
Look, it held there for like 4 days. I'm looking at some quantum names as well because those caught a bit of a bid yesterday. Look at that relative volume coming in and giving us a little bit of a push. But taking a look at a higher time frame, these things have been kind of cooling off a little bit, right? So just looking at this is a weekly right here. You can see a little bit of an uptrend on a bigger picture here, maybe catching a bit of a bid here alongside some of those other names as well. I like the sustained kind of pushes that this has been having. Sure, the ranges are kind of aggressive, but overall bigger picture, this thing is setting up pretty nicely, I think, as well, just this whole quantum sector. And I think this can be a little bit related back to robotics as well. You know, like Elon's playing the long game meta, man. He's got the AI. He's got the batteries. Now he's got the robots.
Got 9 kids.
We're literally
How's he going to feed everyone? You know.
Well, he's got an army of robots to do.
Maybe I'll borrow a couple $1 billion from that guy. See if he can. You seen Sam Michael Roberts lately? SMR. That's another one that has been absolutely.
A little bit of a curl happening here as well. Yeah, look at that on the weekly. Pretty got pretty shellacked for the past.
I just hope Joe didn't get any of that shashuka on his shirt over there. You know.
Shakshuka?
Yeah, there we had some nice tomato sauce with some eggs there. This man's in his nice whites over there. Yeah, he's got a wedding to go to later. So, yeah, no, Tesla. I really like this stock here again today. I mean, I was telling you multiple touch points down here at 447 yesterday. Looked like it wanted to get bought up, and then that race at the close, which was fantastic. So I'm just writing it right now. It'll be on here. It's going to be a 450 long to me, just to wait to see if it hits, or we just play off of. I mean, the 200 period moving average is down here at that 447, so there could be a play down into there as well. But I'm excited to trade some Tesla today. That is for sure. And I bought some. I think it is a robotics trade. And, you know, Brendan and I and Sharif, we all went over this a little bit yesterday as we really enjoyed sort of that talk about how robots, and we showed the Optimus running around and everything like that. And it was just been a good run for them. And we'll see what winds up happening here with Tesla. I'm way too. The reason why I went in there and bought more SoFi today is like, every single decision I make seems to be buying more tech. And it's like we're long at $37 here on SamSara. They had a report there last night. We'll go over that hopefully at some point. Relatively flat into that report. They do catch an upgrade, though. Sorry, they maintain a buy, B of A there, $55 price target on SamSara, Internet of Things. So we can talk a little bit about that as well. But yeah, just trying to get into a little bit more other than tech, right? I mean, John Deere has had to move down. I was looking at that. Home Depot. We're in some retail, but not as much as we should be, and all of that. Look at the banks just continue to go, right? J.P. Morgan another high, same as Citigroup, and then one more. You already talked about Rich Tech Robotic, and earnings were a little light. There are a lot of stories.
Earnings.
There were a couple earnings.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going through some of them right now because I know I was a little late on them. But
We had Rubrik.
We have Rubrik. Rubrik's up nicely. We've got DocuSign with a little bit of selling coming in here as well. I saw.
We're sort of through the major cap names right now, but it doesn't mean that there's not a lot of opportunity here to trade today. So.
I really like this right here. Like, look, we're kind of getting aggressive on this bid here. I guess the market's taken this earnings report on Rubrik pretty nicely, and yeah, kind of let's see if we can get up to this
20%. You know. Oh, and you also had as the cosmetic trade continues, right? Ulta Beauty just ripped that again. This was a miss by the way by Warren Buffett. They were in and sold. This was, I remember, if Adara is here. I haven't seen her in the chat yet. I'm sure she's here, but she'll remember this is why I just ask her. She knows the dates of everything, but it was just a matter of, I remember Berkshire had an investment there in Ulta Beauty, and I don't think it worked out very well, and they either dumped it for flat or for something, and it's since, this year, it's had quite the epic run upside, and here's Ulta Beauty. Look how good this looks. Whoopsies, get this back. This just looks amazing on the daily because you're right back up to this level one more time here, looking to break through 580. So this is just looking like it's a breakout waiting to happen. I can't believe this was down to 320 again, all the way up to 580. But yeah, the market is a strong one here. And you can play it with options, you can play with equity, you can play with crypto, you can get involved with anything in this market. But for options, we do have Joe, and he's got a couple plays for us and a couple ideas. So let's throw it over to Joe with his options.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday, the final day of the week. Yes, and you get to trade some zero DTEs on some equity stocks, not just the overall market. All right, guys, let's take a look at some of these plays yesterday. A lot moving on yesterday's intraday session. We're going to start this off with some Bloom Energy as it continued to climb. $130. Once again, we're just rolling over to that December 19th expiration cycle. I think this level can most definitely be in play. Open interest sitting around 11,200 and with volume around 3,700. Not bad whatsoever. And then we have IonQ here as well, too, guys, at that $55 strike price. Once again, in the same expiration cycle. Open interest sitting around 6,800. And then we have volume around 3,800 as well, too. But Netflix, guys, it's funny because when I was looking at this one, I'm like, hey, I'm going to look at this as a potential resistance zone and a supply zone that we're not being able to break. Why? Because look at the past couple of sessions, and then in the pre-market, we're selling now south of $100. Last time I checked, we're around $99, which I think is a pretty good opportunity to get involved in some Netflix. But with that volume sitting around 16,400 at that specific 105 strike, and then open interest around 9,000. Now, as for the call of the day, it's going to be Meta, guys. Yesterday, we know that they are going to be cutting funds to the Reality Labs and spending in Reality Labs by 30%, which is absolutely, I think, a good sign for this. So what I want us to look at here is the actual charting. This is the pricing of the options contract. So you can see when the volume and the liquidity really starts to step in, and that's going to be in September. Now, you're going to be collecting a substantial amount of money, around $14K on that specific contract, and it's now roughly worth a fraction of that. So, I mean, for all the options writers and buying leaps, and if you're in that kind of world of trading, you can see how substantial the decay is in theta on that specific contract. But at that 670 strike price, guys, once again, we're falling into that December 19th expiration cycle. So you have to take into consideration that there's only a week or a couple weeks left in the lifespan of this contract, and you can just see that decay happening month after month, and there's no real substantial pop in it. And that's why a lot of traders run into issues with trading, obviously, some of these vehicles just due to the decay and the theta effect on that specific level. But open interest sitting around 11,000 there. And then we have volume around 6,800, guys. Delta, relatively cool, and the at-the-money IV around 28.4%, guys. So, yeah, very interesting stuff. Pull up your options chart and go back to when these things start becoming really liquid, and you can see the effect of not only implied volatility decay, but also the theta decay, which is extremely important, guys.
So for that, look, I think that's an important point that he's kind of started off with that meta, was looking at options are a great way to play these things, especially on a Friday, as you mentioned, 0 DTE. Understand what that means, that they're going to expire. So if you're wrong, you know, and you don't get out and you hold it, you're going to lose everything. But at the end of the day, I think Joe nailed it with wanting to have some sort of a catalyst. You know, and yesterday we had Meta, or not, well, throughout the last couple of days, the cost cutting is now back in picture. Mark Zuckerberg is just throwing out contracts left and right, stealing people from Apple. So it's just funny, like cutting from the metaverse, but then putting that spend right back into people and hopefully into ideas that are away from the metaverse, which has been funny because they changed the symbol and the whole company name, right, over to Meta. And then since then, that's been sort of the bane of their existence. But we'll get those cuts. Now they said 30% reduction over there in the metaverse. And I think that's going to help that play. So I know he said it was 670 price target there. So I don't know if that was done on purpose or what. But yeah, Neil on the day off. We're glad to have Obi up in here, but. Any thoughts quickly before we go to Michael on Meta or?
Yeah, I mean, out of those names on the list, I like Netflix again. Yeah. Catalyst this morning as well, doing some relative volume coming into that $100 mark there as well. And I saw Joe was pointing out that those 105s. I don't know if we're going to be able to get there today, but yeah, 100 is going to be interesting. I'm watching that for sure. And seeing how we come into the day with their WBD deal kind of going on, and I guess them selling off a little bit off of that. So from there, I think Netflix is the most interesting for me.
All right, he's in his red and black lumberjack, but he does not have a hat to match. It's Michael Noss. Let's go back to Sharif Brendo with our guest of the AM.
Yeah, I just noticed here the fall continuing here on Netflix, guys. 100 goes, 99 goes. They're definitely selling the news on the way. Toward the open here for Netflix. Let's talk a little Santa Claus, shall we? You got that vibe going on today a little bit?
I looked for a hat, but I couldn't find one. Might be a little bit too early to find one around that.
Yes, I think so. Michael Noss maxed out his AI skills on some of the images that he's providing us with today. So give us a rundown here. What do we need to know about the Santa Claus rally?
Yeah, it's funny. When I looked at when I did this last year and the year before that, I used AI for both of those as well. So I should like splice them together so we can see how good AI has gotten over the years of me doing this presentation for you guys. And because there's no real charts to show here. So this is right visuals while I chat. So first of all, what is the Santa Claus rally? I want to go to the exact time frame because I know a lot of people get this wrong. So again, shout out to the Stock Traders Almanac. You know, he's been publishing this for 60 years now and has coined a lot of these frames, the Hirsch family. And they're seasonality experts. So I leaned on a lot of their data for this. And the Santa Claus rally does not start after Thanksgiving. And I hear that a lot, and I hear that it starts in all of December. It is very specifically the last 5 trading days of this year, and then the first 2 of next year. So that takes us to the 24th of December, and then it ends on the 5th. Of January. So those are the days, because you got to factor in all the holidays and the weekend and all of this kind of thing. And this is the area that has been studied for this length of time. The next chart right here, this is all the way back to 1950 and where they started to study this phenomenon. And for that last 5 days into the 2 days of the new year, these are the returns. And it averages around like 1.5% to 2%. But I think what really gets people is you can see the amount of positive years versus the amount of negative years. It is quite probable at like 75 to 80%, depending on when you start, that we are positive for that period of time. So it makes for a very interesting trade, knowing that just like anything else, 80% chance you're right means a 20% chance you're wrong. So quite often you have these kind of outsized returns. Now I've zoomed in for just the last 25 years with this next chart, just so you can really kind of see. And in this time, there has only been the 5 times that we have been down for this period of time. And it's funny if you look at where they're clustered, right? So the year 2000, you can see a couple of them around there. A lot of people may not have been trading for this time, but right, 2013-ish, there was a little bit of a bear market there as well. And then that 2018, I remember that one vividly because it really made for an awful Christmas. That was more trade wars and talks with China's and bullying J-Pow on Twitter. It seems exactly what was happening now, except we were crashing into Christmas as opposed to where we are hanging out right now. So again, we don't double during this period of time or anything crazy like that, but very consistent growth. And I've got some notes to why. And one of the main reasons I think is low trading volumes. And there's an old trading adage in just trading and investing that's you never short a dull market. And I think that's part of it. Also, I think a lot of it has to do with tax loss harvesting rebounds. And Jeff Hirsch talks a lot about this in the book as well, where due to certain tax rules, generally speaking, you're done selling the things that you want to sell to target tax losses into this December rally. You're usually done that selling. So a lot of selling pressure that could take place on the market is then lifted because, we can do a whole thing on tax loss harvesting later, but basically you want to sell the things that you don't have to pay the government for selling. You want to sell the things that will recoup that. So as soon as that selling's done, then you kind of get this natural lift because, again, the selling is over. Now, this one's very interesting and is always written in the book, and it's the what if things don't happen, right? And if Santa Claus fails to call, then bears could come to Broad and Wall, and that's Broad and Wall is where the New York Stock Exchange is. And the old saying is just that if you don't get a Santa Claus rally, and if you don't get what they call the kind of January effect or the first couple days in January, there is a high statistical chance that year, the full year, could end up being down. So the reason I think people watch the Santa Claus rally, even more than they're interested in that 1% to 2% high probability move over that period of time, is for me, it's always a more interesting thing to look at. What if the seasonality doesn't work out the way it should, in quotation marks? If it doesn't, that to me is more interesting, because if 80% of the time we have this nice strong move, and then the times that we don't, if we kind of remember that chart that I had before, all of those were preceding or around dangerous or kind of tumultuous times in the market. So I am way more interested in if we don't get it than if we do. And that's something that I'll talk about a little bit kind of later in the month. We'll go over the January effect, which I think is a very interesting seasonal phenomenon as well. But that's kind of the summary, is starting on the 24th and ending on the 2nd, that there's a 80% chance the market pops up 2% for that period of time. And if it doesn't, again, that's where I think things get really interesting.
And I think exactly, and you alluded to that very well in that sense. I mean, it's not like people are sitting around for the entire year just waiting for this to say, okay, now I'm going all in to make my year. Mm-hmm. This is more of a sentiment type of indication going into a brand new trading year, essentially just a week away. It'd be really interesting to talk a little bit about, I think, some of the reasons as to why. You touched on a few of them, from a macro standpoint, higher time frame standpoint, but just market structure in general, in the final weeks of the year, in the final even month or month and a half of the year, we see a lot of people, institutions specifically, doing some maneuvering, making things look as best they can from a portfolio standpoint going into the end of the year as well.
Yeah, and I think it's just that. I think you follow the money at this end of the year. And you got to remember that the hedge funds, the large institutions, the big guys out there, they generally get paid year end based off of some sort of performance. Hedge funds generally have a 2 and 20 structure, which means they get 2% of whatever they're managing and then 20% of whatever returns that they make. This year was a fairly easy year from a swing trading side of things to make money. So if I'm sitting with a couple weeks left on a potential big bonus, I'm going to try to do whatever I can to keep the market good and to keep everyone happy, to keep everyone fed. That, and then again, taxes. You know, I need to sell the things that haven't been working all year in order to lower my tax burden until the end of the year. And then over Christmas, I will stop that selling. So the fact that I don't want to do anything to mess up the market and I, want the tax loss, I think that's why not only have we gotten a good market here, but I've talked about a lot of the sectors that have been outperforming, and they've been boring ones like healthcare and things like that. That to me is a move into more defensive assets because, you just don't want to mess up that bonus. So I think between taxes and bonuses, you can explain a lot of this kind of behavior.
We might be getting a Santa Claus rally in the Canadian dollar right now, Michael Noss. The Canadian employment data just out better than expected, much better than expected, actually. Unemployment rate was supposed to be 7, comes in 6.5. Positive on the jobs print north of the border this time around. Great stuff. It'd be interesting. I don't know if you I'm throwing you on the spot here, obviously, but have you done any digging as to different areas of the market and how the individual performances play out from this time period?
That is actually going to be really interesting, and maybe we'll talk about that on Monday, because there's a whole section in the almanac about the January effect starting about halfway through December. And the January effect is a famous effect in which small caps actually end up kind of carrying a torch and outperformance. And the reason that that's kind of given is that people want to position into the next group of stocks, the next area that could be interesting for next year. So people start taking that bet near the end of the year. So I'll gather all that data and we'll come Monday, which, for me, I love when small caps move because then we're just not talking about NVIDIA and Meta again.
And we can go that direction with this as well, right? In the year, as you alluded to, has been great for tech and great specifically for anything AI related. Is there any correlation with what happens in that final couple of weeks or month or so heading into the new year? Do we see a little bit of taking some profits from one area and going into another? So yeah, lots to dig in as we head towards the end of the year. Great stuff. Michael Noss, have a great weekend.
Thanks for having me. Have a good weekend, guys.
Michael, thank you so much for coming through, and a good weekend to you as well. Thanks for all that information. Yeah, the Santa Claus rally there, last 5 and first couple there in the new year. I like that. Tax harvesting makes a lot of sense to me on that aspect as well. So a lot of you probably dealing with that potentially in your own accounts right now. And then I mean, first of all, the market, I don't know what's creating this little move down here. I was listening to Michael Noss and trying to have the news in my ear right there. So the Canadian number Brendan sort of mentioned there coming out as well, a little stronger. But the Nasdaq's coming back in right here, which is not leading me to feel pretty good about some of these longs. I don't know why I have Ulta Beauty up right now still. I'm not too focused on that name right now. But yeah, and then also, you know what else was Brendan actually nailed it right there at the end. I am excited to hear for his little research report, like coming in the new year, see what's running late in December as a potential look to see what sectors are going to be hot right into next year. I think we're already getting a little look into that with iRobot and some of the robotics there with some of that news. And I do think that the chip, and again, Michael sort of threw it in there, looking for names other than these big cap names that we keep on talking about. What makes this market tick is everything. And we'd like to see the relative strength, which appears to be in the market. There's a lot of names that are moving higher. It's not just these NASDAQ names. We talked about the financials and healthcare, and it's just the market keeps ticking, right, every single day. But I'm listening to Michael the next couple of times he comes on to see if he's catching any new trends in this space and just to see what might be hot for that next year. But yeah, take that into consideration. And I think that's what's good for we made fun of, not made fun of, but he talked about the AI. He uses it to create those graphics. But it's another, some of these large language models are actually getting to be much, much better for just simple research like that. Listen to what Michael talks about with the Santa Claus rally, put it into a Gemini or something like that, and start asking reasonable questions to it, and it'll kick out the right answers, and then you can analyze charts and figure out if any of that does make sense to you. Because there's always two sides of everything. And you don't want to just buy a stock or get into the market just because of the Santa Claus rally. There's many other things that are happening, like for example, what's happening right now, and I have no idea.
Yeah, a little bit of
down. And is it because is gold running? I see you have gold up right there.
That's what I want to talk about. Talking about some themes running into the end of the year, maybe into the beginning of next year as well. Look at this acceleration that we've had here on gold. 24 is 24 March of 24 is when we really start to break out of this $2,000 per ounce level here, and all the way up to 4,381 highs here. Now this is a monthly chart. You can see here a little bit of a stair step happening here. That breakout of 35 was nice, and then now it seems like we're attempting another push up higher. So maybe looking at some of these precious, I guess precious metals, right? Gold definitely falls under one of those, and we were talking about precious metals like MP.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's a great chart. That's a great look.
We're talking about some of those as well. So this is the monthly on this one. Sure, we had this strong move, a nice little wiki action here, maybe some balancing happening. But I'll have eyes on some of these as well, because again, if we're gonna kind of move towards robotics, and if that's gonna be the theme, yeah, batteries is gonna be a big important part of it. They need to build them. They need metals to build robots as well. So I don't know if that's gonna really cause some of these to move, but they're starting to catch some volume here as well on the higher time frame. So I'm definitely gonna be watching some of those coming into the new year as well. And you know how these sectors and themes are, man. You know, every couple of weeks there's a new flavor. There's a new flavor. There's a new fashion. Things come and go. So it's always good to kind of be on our feet, especially as day traders. You want to be with what sector themes are running right now, because those are in play. We're not really in there for the long term but I think being involved is important on a day-to-day basis on some of these when the opportunities do show up.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I wanted to say to Brendan and to Sharif, what did I miss over here? There must be a news story here, because the Nasdaq just turned basically red. The market's been in a pretty good free fall here for the last little bit. The Nasdaq was going about 0.75%, something like that, to the upside at its highs, and now we're just falling back down. So let's throw it back to the desk and see if it's just any other Friday. Okay, well, there's some. That's not it. Okay, well, billionaire, AI says billionaire Cristiano Ronaldo, has become an investor. That's the top. Okay, where's my, all right, NVIDIA, market sell. What other stock? Oh, AI, everything? Okay, flatten whole portfolio.
Markets.
Yeah, no. I never heard of this guy, Cristiano Ronaldo. You know who that is?
Soccer player. Come on, man.
I'm playing, that was, trying to set you up a little bit there, but you did. I know it's Yay Sports for you.
Legendary players, of course, everyone's heard.
Let's talk about Netflix. His wife has some sort of a show on Netflix there, Georgina. Hey, Georgina. Yeah, Ramin comes, who is that? Ramin comes right in my ear as if I didn't know her name. You know what I mean? I have a wife, she's watching these shows. But they're a really cute couple, actually, apparently. So, all right, that's it. Enough of Cristiano Ronaldo. But there you go, man. We may see a top when stuff like that gets involved. It's like the minute Ja Rule's telling you to hold Bitcoin. But actually, Ja Rule, that guy should be Ja ruling the world right now. I mean, if he actually followed, instead of just taking all that money for pumping Bitcoin or whatever he was pumping that one time, I hope he actually put the money into crypto. I mean, that was like 5 or 6 years ago. And that's when we were like, oh man, that's the high. And then it was like, and also when Long Island Iced Tea Company changed their name to Long Island Blockchain, that was an interesting moment as well. But yeah, that's right, Joseph. You saw that answer, my guy over there. I'm busy over here. My guy.
Bring this over to me here for a second. We're waiting.
There he is.
Cristiano Ronaldo's not that popular though, right?
Oh, that one. Oh, no, I was talking. Cristiano Ronaldo is popular, but remember, I said that I thought.
No, it's done.
Listen. After you're done waiting tables, just basically, what I was saying was I thought Hulk Hogan, remember this was the talk here, we were all at the bar, and then I made a mistake of asking like a 20-year-old person. That person looked at Hulk Hogan and thought it was his grandpa. So I don't really know what how to get that, but we had a discussion on if anyone with the most recognizable face in the world was. And it's
as of right now.
I just thought most people would be able to.
Right now, yeah.
Right now, it's pretty.
But it's not. It wasn't the most famous face in the world. It was just. I thought more people would recognize Hulk Hogan than Ronaldo. But
didn't somebody say like Ric Flair or Stone Cold or something like that?
Yeah, the guy did. Yeah, the guy did. The guy. I basically asked this random guy from Winnipeg about that. But yeah, so. It was not Hulk Hogan. It was Ronaldo. So the guy definitely knew that. I think the guy secretly had a crush on Ronaldo, actually, the guy that we wound up asking. So
right away.
Yeah, he didn't
right away.
That individual never watched a minute of wrestling in his life. But all right, no, I was talking about the DM that you sent me.
What the heck? That's great.
We're on one today, that's for sure. But what else is new around here? Okay, yeah, let's go back over. Yeah, that's some people putting some interesting names in the chat also about most recognizable. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I don't know. Was there? So this all started with the headline. I was trying to ask Brendan if there's anything happening because now the Nasdaq is now red. It may be positioning ahead of some of these numbers that are coming out today. We have PCE numbers at 10 o'clock. We have Michigan sentiment at 10 o'clock as well. So there is lots of stuff happening in the market right now. And yeah, I got to give it up to Cristiano Ronaldo, probably the most famous person in the world. I would think. I mean, is it probably more so than Elon? Because just how popular soccer is. I would think that kids all over the world, definitely would recognize that, though. Yeah, what's up, Mazamota? I am from the streets of Brampton, so I used to be a rapper, but now I'm a trader. So, all right, are we going to Joe or Brendan or I don't know? All right, Ramin says let's go to Sharif. I think no, let's go to Joe.
Heading over to the upgrades and downgrades, guys. Let's take a look at what we got going on for today's list. We're going to start this off with Dollar General by Telsey Advisory Group, raising that price target to $130. We have approximately 0.1% this morning. And then SamSara as well, too, guys. BMO Capital Markets, you're up slightly here in the pre-market, price target being raised to $50. Obi was talking about this earlier this morning. MP Materials, Morgan Stanley, 2.88% with a price target of $71, and then also Ulta Beauty as well, too, guys, 6.75% in the pre-market session with a price target of $640. Now, as for some of the downgrades here, we got Kroger getting it lowered from $100 to $82 by Telsey Advisory Group, and then DocuSign as well, too, guys. Negative on the session, almost 8%, a little bit less. Price target being lowered to $75, and then Sentinel One as well, too, by Bank of America. You're down 8.3% in the pre-market, and price target being lowered to $18. Now, as for Service Titans, Piper Sandler, positive in the morning, almost 9% there, guys, but price target being lowered to $140.
Okay, yeah, I mean, DocuSign there on the report heading to the downside. You can take a quick look here. The Nasdaq is now still getting pummeled. It's still going. We just talked about it was at zeros. Now you're at minus 0.1 here as we get down. But yeah, DocuSign there. No surprise they're getting some downgrades kicking into here. And you got to watch out because it's another level break right here at $64. So yeah, this could be an interesting breakdown here, Obi, and then we probably land, somewhere in the mid 50s on DocuSign. So we'll review. I'm not sure if it's going to be on the rundown, but it is on our watch list, and DocuSign with earnings and a well-traded name. You're coming right into a possible level here that we want to see hold, and if it doesn't, then more downside. And if this market turns red, we want to look for red names to continue the move lower there. DocuSign, wow, $110. Mateo and I were into this name a while ago, thinking about a buyout, and I was able to get out of it for almost nothing. And then the move happened later on last year, and since then, look at this, higher. These are lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Starting to get lower, and then even on the lows are getting lower as well. So we'll have to see here. DocuSign not very healthy right now, but we'll review those numbers in a little bit. Apparently, Mike Peter Ryder does not know what Messi or Ronaldo looks like. So that's a little bit of an issue there for my guy in the chat. I'm sure that's maybe a troll, but. Yeah, Dollar General, was that something for you?
Definitely. I think I'm watching this one for sure. This is the monthly. Let's kind of take a top-down perspective over here. Bit of a run-up here over the past few months. Nice little curl back up, recovering some of this flush that we got, I guess, in 23 and 24. Today is earnings day 2, guys. So we'll just go straight down to the 15-minute chart here and see. Look at that. Yesterday, very aggressive strength, closing at the highs of the day, and even in the pre-market session right now, a little bit of a crumble around 125. So just looking for that potential continuation here. See if that bid kind of comes in. We got that breakout yesterday, and looking for that continuation on a day like today. With that upgrade, sure, I like that. I like that a lot. Some more, just maybe adding some more confluence there. Let's see if we can hold some prior days consolidation levels here as well. 122s. You can't forget the anchored VWAP here as well. That's coming in at 121.80. So I'm going to be watching this this name. Don't know if there's going to be a significant opportunity, but let's see what it does for us. The upgrade definitely does add some good confluence.
All right, it's been about 10 minutes, but we're going to now try to find out if there's any news stories or anything creating this move down in the market. Anything on the desk over there, boys?
Nothing. No, I actually wanted to talk about this a little bit because it's one of those things where I just pulled up the VIX here, guys. The VIX is at 1620, 1630, something like that. Like extremely, extremely, extremely low volatility environment. Yeah. And it's like one of those things where you get lulled into this false sense of, oh, nothing's ever going to happen. Yeah. And then you get a little move in the market and everybody's, saying something has to be happening. But I haven't seen anything, but I'll keep an eye out for that. But I mean, it's one of those points in time and in the market and in volatility where you typically do or can get a shift one way or the other.
No, you're absolutely right. Let's take a look at the VIX, Brendo, because we're at local lows over here. Yeah, we haven't been this low since, I guess, early August, maybe even a little bit late October, Brendo. We tend typically to get mean reversions on the VIX. So when you hang out at the lows here for quite some time, you typically get a big of a price spike up. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. But I'm not seeing anything coming on from my side either. We'll have to see if it would possibly delay a reaction to PPI.
Or maybe even
even
just this, sentiment. I mean, this might be a stretch, but the sentiment around this Netflix deal this morning. I mean, they're selling Netflix pretty hard still to the downside. We're just coming off the back of a couple of weeks of everyone complaining about valuations being too high and stocks being overpriced, and we're still maybe in that situation where it's any reason is a good reason to take some profit.
So right at 2 o'clock, maybe 2:10 yesterday, we had an aggressive crypto sell-off. About $100 million was liquidated in the crypto industry within 10 minutes, and we had the Nasdaq respond as well. So you're starting to see a little bit of correlation between the market at large and some of these auxiliary sort of assets, Brendo. Yeah,
a few other things at play. I mean, one thing to definitely consider is if you zoom out here a little bit on this is a 15-minute chart of the Qs. Like it's just the Nasdaq. Not a heck of a lot of volume behind this. I mean, it is starting to pick up right now, but even compared to what we were seeing yesterday, we got that Microsoft news yesterday. So, I mean, yeah, we're going down, but on very, very low volume, guys. Extremely, extremely low volatility currently as well.
Okay, I was just dealing with Joe there. He wants to trade FBL, the Facebook long, so I'm trying to, the double levered, or is it triple levered? Yeah, you just called up, that's the VIX that you were looking at right there?
At the SPY and VIX, yeah, because as soon as Brendo said volatility, I'm like, yeah, let's see where the VIX is sitting at, because I know just a couple of days ago it was pushing a little bit higher here, and we've kind of trickled all the way back down to around 15 here on the VIX. Just taking a look at the SPY here, let's see how we're ending off on the week. Okay, so I did have this trend line. I don't think this trend line is for this time frame. But yeah, a little bit of a consolidative week here, Sean. So a bit of a gap up this morning above and pulling back into this range that we've just been kind of chopping around here. Higher highs and higher lows, though. That's something I am noticing on the SPY. Maybe we are attempting to push those all-time highs here. So we did kind of recover. We were seeing some of these names kind of push back up into their all-time highs. We saw that Apple was making that kind of a move here just a couple of days ago. We pulled back off of those all-time highs pretty aggressively yesterday as well. Oh, that reminds me. Another aggressive pullback yesterday was Intel.
Yes,
Intel
yes,
very
yes,
aggressive.
Good call, yep.
A strong, in my opinion, a little bit of an interesting level here where we kind of come in, double top, can't really get past it, and then all day sell off yesterday. Don't know if we're going to get that continuation today. This thing has been stepping up, right, Neil? Sorry, Sean. This thing's
I'll take it.
stepping up here and breaking out of that consolidation, right?
Yep.
Sorry, I said Neil because I know Neil's always talking about Intel, and I'm like, oh yeah, Intel. Neil, this is one of Neil's main stocks here, but yeah, no, great swing position on this one, but stair stepping up a little bit higher here as we see.
Yeah, I wanted to just remind everybody that, first of all, let's see how many of you are subbed. You got to become a subscriber to get into our chat, right? That's what we're looking at right now. I've had some good conversations this morning so far. So hit the subscribe, that little bell up in there to get the reminders. You can also hit the like button. So if we can get that going right now, 4,500 of you watching. If I put a poll up, there'll be 1,000 votes immediately. So let's get that like button going. Just open up your chat. Or open up the YouTube window there, you know, if you're on your mobile as well. Just hit the like button for us because we are starting now at 8 a.m. and we want to make sure that the algos and everything, you know, really kicks in there and lets people know that we are now live at this time. Yeah, Nasdaq with a nice little dump off right there. We'll see if that is continued here into the open. The imbalances are only available right now for the New York or the Amex. So there's nothing happening on the Nasdaq or anything right now, so we can't really see if you know, there's going to be potentially a big sell-off in some of these tech names, which has sort of led to this move down. It's also happening in the S&P 500, and it's not that dramatic. It's just kind of instant there. SMR with a bid. That was another runner from yesterday as well, so that's going to kick out today. And then Oracle with a bid. So if I'm looking on here, you know, the majority of these are buys. There are a little bit. HPE, not good for them here today, so that comes as a sell as well. 100,000 shares, down 10%. That will go SSR there today. And we'll wait to see if there's going to be a Netflix talk or not. You know, today's a big Netflix day, man. Netflix getting hit, obviously, down that 3%. It's funny because they just reverse split. That's normally going to be a pretty good catalyst for Netflix on a reverse split. Our daily chart, unfortunately, does not take in consideration that split, but this is what Netflix has been looking like, right? Ever since this discussion, I think, of Warner Brothers and sort of accruing for Netflix, like it's going to cost them a little bit of money. We talked about the deal; it's about 82 billion or so, and there's some stock involved, and then there's the cash portion. So that's coming back in for Netflix right now on the daily chart. That's 103 where we closed yesterday. We've already broken back down below $100, so that's not holding, but it's a key level. The sticky note's about to be out, and I have Netflix written on there, and I don't even have a specific price. It was more to look for what we just saw right now. We're going to go over the rundown, and Netflix is going to be on there, but I'm trying to find a bottom. And we might have just found one around that 98.50 level. Now it bounces a little bit back up, but it is going back up with the market. Look what's happening with crypto. Crypto 90,605 right now. So IBIT and the rest of them really getting hit there. I thought we were going to finally turn around at 97 or 98, and we didn't even really get that close to that level. So Bitcoin here over the weekend should be an interesting look as many of those moves happen. We saw that big move last weekend and tried to battle back all week. So we'll see if crypto can hold above 90,000. Let's go back over to the desk. But yeah, guys, I don't know if you saw that. Bitcoin's starting to head lower, down 2% here today.
Yeah, as some of these equities get a little bit of a bounce here, so we'll keep an eye on IBIT as well. BTC, just reading a small cap, yeah. So there was a couple of headlines regarding small caps this morning in the crypto space, but nothing significant to mention. But back to 5150 here for IBIT today.
Yeah, Brendo, it is very much correlated to that $90,000 level that we've been talking about for a while now on BTC. Look, it's stuck in a bit of a range here. You know, dare I say this feels like a bit of a bear flag off that top at 126. We're bouncing down. We're just popping back up here, but we're not even rejecting key levels. That's the ironic thing. Looking back at the chart, this $92,000 to $95,000 level is not an important technical resistance level. It's always been that 100,000 or that $75,000 area. So yeah, you are making some higher lows here, Brendo, but as I mentioned earlier on, we got that liquidation event yesterday, midday, about $100 million in 10 minutes. It wasn't just on BTC, it was crypto industry at large, but you still feel that sell pressure is still there.
And are we still seeing maybe some of the same effect that Michael Noss was talking about going into the end of the year and maybe a little bit of positioning and people with their minds elsewhere currently? Let's cover this Costco story real quick because I think it's an interesting one. If you zoom out on Costco's chart, I mean, this is turning into quite the tight consolidation here, right at a huge area of support for Costco, but we touched on it a little bit going back to the beginning of the week, but give us a rundown here.
So Costco's position are, Brendo, that the tariffs are illegal and they want their money back. So they're looking at doing a couple of things. One, they're adding Gina Raimondo. You guys will remember her under the Biden administration. She was the Commerce Secretary. She's been added to the board. As the company really does ramp up their aggression on Donald Trump's tariffs, they're suing him in court, and that suit was consolidated with several others on Wednesday to basically say, look, your International Emergency Economics Powers Act is bupkis and we want our money back. But you know, when this story first came out, people were like, no, they're not really being that aggressive with the Trump administration. It's more of them preserving their legal rights, because if they wait for the Supreme Court to actually render a final verdict, they may be ineligible for the money. But if they launch a lawsuit at a certain time, then they would be eligible for it. But it feels, Brendo, that it's like a little bit more than that as the contention between the two comes out. I haven't heard President Trump say anything about Costco specifically, you know, and he's not one, obviously, to shy back from any commentary, especially if he doesn't like an entity or a person.
I'm sure it's coming. We'll just have to wait. But no, you're absolutely right. Huge level, though, guys, as we said here, for Costco, still remaining support. I mean, you got to go all the way back to, I guess it was the final few months here of 2024 last year. We were still sitting at this 880 area.
I'm just reading Sharif's takeaway here. Yeah, I don't like the fact that this is and it's noted on here on the note, that it's a multi-year regulatory fight. That just sounds like a lot of costs accruing, again, for Costco. You know, you're gonna have to pay the lawyers, you're gonna have to get this all figured out, and then eventually you're gonna get some kind of a decision that comes through, and then the stock will pop at that point. I think you take advantage of this opportunity to buy one of the world's leaders in retail, and something that's really hasn't let you down. If you've bought in Costco pretty much at any time, you know, you've been pretty happy, except for maybe this last year, as many stocks have turned red now for the year, including what is Costco. Costco had obviously a big move starting with, this is the beginning of the year here, 930, you're now underneath it. So you've been holding this all year. Again, you're not gonna be too happy with it. But yeah, just this tariff, obviously that's going to be hitting their potential revenue source and their margins, right? And so you got to be careful. And like, if tariffs become an issue, maybe they have to stop selling certain products. They become too expensive. They don't really fit the right, you know, cost analysis that they have there, and expenses for Costco continue to go higher in this space. I mean, they're known to pay their employees really well. Good benefits and whatnot. I mean, maybe people that work at Costco are watching right now and can either verify that or deny that. But whenever time I go into Costco, I really think it's a great shopping experience for myself personally. And they also are right now very, very prominent in the Kirkland brand themselves. So, you know, bringing the brands in-house, you can save a lot of money that way. But yeah, I mean, a lot of unique products for Costco. They sell a lot of you know, either not necessarily the high-end TVs, but you can get great electronics there. So most of those, you know, being imported into the country are going to be subject to these tariffs. So we're going to just find out about what's going on here with Costco. You could see an increase in volume as well over the last couple days, but we have these big spikes as well. We haven't had sort of any of these liquidity whoosh out moments. I think that's maybe when you want to get in there and buy, but nothing wrong with dipping some toes right now into Costco. But I don't like that multi-year thing. You know, we saw what happened once Google got that judgment there. They really took off and basically doubled in their stock price. I don't think Costco has that as a retailer, but you know, to diversify your portfolio, I think there's nothing wrong with Costco. But Walmart's been the winner in the space. That's for sure. Is the Costco chart saying anything to you?
I mean, I'm seeing here right away, Brendo pointed out that support level here that we've been holding since for about a couple of years now. And yeah, that is kind of coming into play after a bit of a trend break here as well on a higher time frame. So this is a weekly, and we've kind of broken this trend we've been holding since about 23. We broke out of this consolidation, this multi-year consolidation. That was about what it says here, 714 trading days there. So December 21st to November, December 21 to November 23, that was that consolidation. We broke out of it, and now we're kind of looking like we're starting to consolidate sideways again. But yeah, that support level, definitely interesting to me if we can kind of come into it. We see that yesterday was doing some relative volume as well, kind of with that selling happening. Going to take it step by step. If we can break prior day's lows, then we can look for that potential continuation here if we are going to see lows. But if that support is going to hold, because it has been for the past couple of years, maybe looking for that failure to follow through of that selling could be some more information for Costco there. But yeah, Walmart definitely is very, very strong, or I guess.
Wouldn't have Walmart been subject to like this similar tariffs? Like this is the thing. Apparently, there's like 19 or so other similar cases. I don't think Costco is going to win this one.
The thing is, I think Walmart just has a greater reach around the world, right? It's just there's Walmart in pretty much almost on every continent.
I was in Cancun. Sure. There was a Walmart.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's the same case.
That was 20 years ago. That was 20 years ago. or so.
So Walmart's just bigger.
I think I went in there and bought some booze. I don't know. Maybe Sharif did as well. I mean, I remember going into this into the city there, and there was that Walmart. And it was pretty unique actually to see it there. But good point. Good point. Yeah, it's
So
a bus
they're more
ride.
resilient than Costco in that sense.
Yes. I don't know if Costco is located in Europe or anywhere around there. I'm not even sure. I mean, obviously they're littered all over the place here in Canada.
Oh, definitely.
That's for sure. But maybe a North American story. I don't think the Supreme Court. It's too much money, I think, to give back. But we'll have to wait to see what that decision is. I think it's fine. I think you can probably start to dip by. This is not a name that I'd go all in until there is an all clear. I don't even once there's a decision here, there's probably challenges, and hence the multi-year possible discussion here. It's a Trump government, so Trump's around for a couple more years anyways, and these tariffs I don't think are going anywhere. In fact, President Trump is looking to cut checks to everybody for these tariffs, right? $2,000.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, going into, hopefully that winds up happening. I think that'd be great for the stock market if that does happen, Great for stocks like Robinhood, and just even a SoFi, which we went in and bought a little bit more. All right, we've had a great morning here. Thanks, Obi. It's been an hour and 4 minutes of discussion about stock, a lot of fun as well. We had Joe with the options, the upgrades. We had Michael Noss on. And if you're just joining us now, make sure that you do set your clocks that half hour earlier. We are now on at 8 a.m. every single day as the bell tolls, apparently. And that's your alarm. Set that alarm, get up a little bit earlier, brush those teeth, have that shower, turn this on. One of the best ways to watch Trader TV Live is just on your TV. Download the YouTube app. What are you watching Good Morning America for? Like they're not telling you anything over there. This is going to be the spot to be every single morning at 8 a.m. We want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank everybody for hitting the like button as well, man. We're up to 700 likes. Keep those going. Hit the like button. Support the show. We're happy to be here for you. 90,000 incoming on Bitcoin. It's rundown time.
68.87, that's where we closed out. Sorry, 87, that's where we closed out yesterday on the ES December contract. Guys, take a look here as we zoom in. We're putting in a series of higher lows and higher highs. We broke through that key technical resistance that we couldn't take out, 68.75 yesterday, but we're below it right now as the market sells off. So Brendo, we're looking at 6,900 as our next level of resistance. If we sell off, we're looking at that overnight low right around that 50-point area as support.
The float higher continues. If you haven't done so yet, grab the watch list, because why not? It's free. All you need is your email address. Link is below in the description. Top link will get you to the sign-up page, and then you get everything you need to know every single morning right to your inbox. Just to expand on what Sean was mentioning there, I was doing some digging in the back end of YouTube yesterday. 45% of our views last month came from new viewers.
Great.
45%.
Give yourself a round
If you're one of those, do us a huge favor and hit the subscribe as well. Come back and join us every single day. Let's talk about this Netflix Warner Brothers tie-up. We just saw something interesting on the other bid that we'll get to in a second here as well. But here's Netflix right now this morning on a daily chart. I zoomed out because I wanted to show this. 99.52 goes all the way back to the beginning of the year, or the end of last year, essentially. So this is another stock. We were just talking about a few other ones that has full, round trip this year back to basically where we started.
We've been selling off for a while, Brendo, on Netflix. I remember really kind of precipitated by that Elon thing. We'll get to that maybe a little bit later on. So here's what's going on, guys. Warner Brothers Discovery is selling the majority of its content to Netflix. They're going to get film and TV studios. They're going to get HBO Max, HBO as well. For total enterprise value, Brendo, of around $82.7. Netflix going to pay $27.75 per share, and they intend to maintain WBD's current operations. But here's the deal. We just got word later that Paramount Skydance actually offered more money. They offered $30 a share, which gives you an idea here that money was not the central issue for Warner Brothers Discovery. They were looking for a good strategic tie-up. Expected to close within 12 to 18 months after the plane sign-off, and the targeting here for Q3 of 26. Here's what WBD shareholders are going to get. They're going to get $23.25 in cash, plus they're going to get $4.50 in Netflix stock per WBD share. Just to give you an idea of what kind of themes they're getting here, Breno, they're getting the Big Bang Theory, Sopranos, Game of Thrones, Wizard of Oz, DC Universe, and they're going to be able, obviously, to bundle certain products like Netflix and HBO Max.
Yeah, I was just reading about the Game of Thrones angle, and part of the comments that we saw from both. Remember, there's that co-CEO situation at Netflix. part of the comments on this deal from them specifically centered around expanding production capability and expanding using Warner Brothers Studios to be able to build and continue some of these franchises. But Netflix now owns Game of Thrones.
That's big.
It's massive,
Real big.
Absolutely massive. So I mean, as you guys were saying, $100 could be a bit of a magnet here today.
Like, I wonder, do you think that they're going to try to do what Brendan just mentioned there, like bundle everything together, like it's going to be an added cost? Or I wonder if everything's just going to come in as like a one-piece wonder there, like maybe you get a little bump $5 a month or something like that and you get everything, or maybe they just include everything as it is. You have to, the thing that I think a lot of people, they're not missing with this story, it's there, but there's that ad tier. Right. So it's like all of a sudden they don't actually need people to go in. And sure, I think the ad tier is $5.99 a month, or I don't actually don't know what it is. But whatever it is there, it's just going to create more revenue for them because apparently, as per Netflix's last earnings report, they make a little bit more money on the subscribers that are on the ad tier than are just on the straight up, $30 a month. So now all of a sudden you're going to get people that potentially haven't watched The Sopranos or want to rewatch it and really like the Netflix. Look, HBO Max is great as well, right? I mean, we have something called Crave here in Canada where you can watch all these things, and it's really easy. Everything is now app-based, right? But at the end of the day, you wrap it all up into one. So now when like my kid is looking at that anime stuff, if there's anything that Warner Brothers might have, now it's going to be there. And it's just going to give more options for these viewers to watch. And as Brendan mentioned, though, cable's gone sort of by the wayside. There's a lot of people don't even subscribe to cable. So now the new method moving forward is going to be streaming, and it's been like that probably for 10 years or so, it feels like, right now. And Netflix, with the content being king, they have the Jake Paul, they have the fights, they got wrestling with TKO, they've got UFC now. President Trump's going to do that big UFC fight on the White House. I mean, that's going to get on the lawn there. That's going to get crazy ratings as well. I don't know if they have a tie-up with the World Cup or not, but all of these things, right? The NFL, the NBA games, baseball games. I think they made a deal there with MLB to do one game a week or something as well. We talked about Apple with F1, and it's a real race for content. So right now, if they can get some done in stock, as Sharif mentioned there, they turned down a higher per cash value and took something there with Netflix stock. So you're going to get like $23 or $24 there in cash, and then it's 4 or 5, whatever it was, change there in stock, bringing this to $82 billion. But they don't like it for Netflix because it's costing them some money to make this kind of a deal, and the shares as well. So this always happens. We've seen it with Palo Alto recently on their report. We saw it with Marvell as well. Anytime you're taking somebody out and you got to pay for it, it's going to hit the stock, and then we're going to ask questions later to see how it reflects their next quarter, a couple quarters away from this. This I don't think is going to close. I thought it was, did you hear the closing date there, Sharif, for this? I thought it was like 18 months or so.
Sean, between Q3 of 2026, that's exactly what's being said.
Yeah.
Expected to close 12 to 18 months after the planned spinoff of WBD's Global Networks division, which is Discovery Global, target for Q3 2026.
Okay, so Q3 2026. So a little under that. If we can go 9, 10, 12 months, maybe a year from now, it should be all sorted out there. I don't know what that means exactly for the content, how early they can get that on there, but Netflix still has a little bit of work to do. And what I put down, I apologize, you've been so busy. I think we've been on fire here this morning. I haven't had a chance to post up the sticky notes, so I'm just amending some notes to it, but I do have Netflix on there. And what I've basically said was, I'm looking for the long. All right, I think it's a little overdone. We've already been hit. Like, this name has already gotten hit over the last couple of days, man. We were $110 at the beginning of this week. All right, now we're down 10% this week alone, and now the deal is done. So let's just see what the market thinks about it. I tend to like it. I haven't dug through the numbers, as Sharif is just mentioning. There's a lot involved with what's happening here. I'm looking for a base and sort of a capitulated bottom that would be signified by volume. So if we can see a big volume spike here and then potentially a move up, then we can play off whatever that candle happens to be, and then we'll try to go long. So I'm going to try to have this name up, see if we see some action on Netflix today. But right now it's looking like 98.50. But I feel very irresponsible to trade this thing early. I think you got to let it settle down, man. I have no idea what the hedge funds are going to think about this. There's obviously a lot of people that have traded Netflix, and it's a heavily owned name, and could definitely see some outflows in the name today. based on this deal. So we'll wait for inflows. And when we start to see that, then we'll go long, or it might be a short until you see that bid. So I'm gonna let this one cool down. I don't think it's really a trade till quarter to 10, something like that. Let's see some key levels there, and I'm gonna be sort of hands off at Netflix until I do see some kind of a bottom, and I want everybody in the chat to be screaming about that because we'll go over there and have a look. I think there's a big trade possibility here for Netflix, especially if the market starts to get a little excited about it. There's a lot of runway to the upside.
Yeah, I think in terms of Netflix for me, that $100 level is definitely going to be a little interesting for me, a little important. But just prior days, 102s, you can see bigger pictures since earnings. We've been kind of selling off pretty aggressively. We know this thing has had a bit of a split. So split adjusted highs here, our most recent 134.20s. You can see since then we're breaking structure to the downside here, and we get a little bit more of a flush today through that 100 mark. So yeah, I do like that idea of maybe being a little bit patient and seeing what the opening range does here on Netflix, seeing if we get any sort of distinct kind of move. We are doing some relative volume in the pre-market session here. So just on a 3-minute chart, this is a 5-period RVOL. We're doing about 17 to 20 times. So that's pretty significant for, again, not necessarily a Mag 7, but one of the top constituents, top 10, top 15 constituents for sure, is Netflix. And something like that doing 15 to 20 times relative volume is definitely significant. So definitely one of the top watches on the day today. WBD might be a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more difficult, maybe a little bit more choppy here. I think they said it's about $28, right? So it's trading at 25.50s right now, and this one's doing about 120 times relative volume. So I'm watching this. I was watching this in the pre-market session here at 24.50s. That got slapped all the way up to 25 halves, 26s almost. So maybe a bit of a strong bid coming in. We'll have to wait for the opening session to see. Pre-market highs though, 26s. If we can kind of push through that, maybe we get a little bit closer to that price. But Netflix, I think, is going to be a little bit easier there because bigger picture, it has been already downtrending, and off of this catalyst, we're seeing more of the same. So yeah, that $100 mark definitely going to be one to watch out for.
Let's talk about SoFi. Downside here this morning, we're sitting on a ledge. It feels like, anyways. 27.40, 27.35, take your pick, just below 27.50. It's been doing absolutely nothing this morning after the initial move down after the close yesterday. What is it? 1.5 billion worth of a share offering here. And I just saw a headline, continued rumors essentially of this stock being included in the S&P 500.
Yeah, I can see that.
First time hearing.
Well, Hood got the ad,
yeah.
right? We'll see if SoFi can get the ad as well. Brenda, $1.5 billion, as you mentioned. After a massive run, of course, SoFi's market cap is nearly doubled in 2025, and the stock is up 6 times its value that it was trading at in late 2022. So good luck for the company. Here's what they're going to use the money for, Brenda. Proceeds will go to the board toward board corporate needs, including strengthening their capital position, increasing the financial flexibility of the company, also improving internal capital management efficiency, funding future growth initiatives. And the company really wanted to highlight that, as well as the new business opportunities that it wants to get into. Joseph and I often talk about the tokenization of some of these equities. They're looking at that, and that's going to cost $1 or $2.
As you said, stock's still up huge on the year so far. I mean, we started the year around, what was it, 14, 15 bucks, something like that for SoFi. Stuck in the middle, though, here of this daily chart range, guys.
This barcoding consolidation here is, again, when stocks in the pre-market give that really tight barcode, I like it. It gives you an opportunity to be like, all right, well, this is you know, the top of the range, low of the range, and maybe potential opportunities as well. Strong flush off of that offering in the after hours there. Bit of a second leg down here in the pre-market session, doing about, what is that, 9.5 times relative volume, roughly, I see here, but coming into consolidation low. So this was what I was telling Sean a little bit earlier today. Like, yeah, it did sell off, but we're pulling into this interesting area here. Just we broke out of some of these prior highs here, and we've had this wide kind of consolidation here. Highs at 32.70s, and that low is sitting at 23.50. So didn't quite get to the range lows. selling off into the middle. So maybe a bit of a chop zone, but I think Sean said that he did get a little involved with it.
Yeah, I bought more. I averaged up into this name. The last time I bought this was around that $24, $25 marker, and it is listed as my #1 trade idea here today on the sticky note. It's SoFi between 27 and 27.50, so basically right where we are right now. We're gonna find out here, because the thing about SoFi is their quarter was absolutely huge. I mean, I was just reading about it right now. I'm going to go back over it. Revenue up 38% year over year. Net income doubled due to its past year. Cash and equivalent, apparently, this is raising 1.5 billion. They already had 3.25 billion there, so I'm not sure why they did this. They might be planning something. I'm not sure what they're trying to do here, but I think SoFi in the fintech space, we talked about how I like Robinhood if Bitcoin can sort of rebound there a little bit, but this is a bank. So I think that SoFi continues its strong momentum to the upside, and whether or not this is a fundamental breakdown, I don't think so. I think this just broke the 50-period moving average right there. The offering went out at 27.50. Generally speaking, you know, it can be a lot lower than where that offer price is, and it's hovering around there. So I feel like the market is just respecting the decision there to raise a little bit of capital and putting the stock, giving everybody an opportunity to get involved in and around that price. So I'm pretty happy with it. The only thing that I could see here, and it's just a breakdown right now through the 50-period moving average. And I only got a little bit. I mean, I'm just trying to, you know, it's like when we bought Boeing at $200. It went to 180. Now it's back to 200. Same thing with Uber. We bought it. It went down a couple bucks and bounced back. I just think this is in the theme of buying companies that you believe in for the long term on random noise. I mean, a lot of these companies do offerings to get cash and to sort of solidify their balance sheet a little bit. So let's just figure out exactly where SoFi depends on or looks to put this cash into work there. And we're just going to figure out if this is the proper way to dilute the stock or not. But right now, SoFi down 8%. I think it's a buying opportunity. I've been waiting to get into more of this, so I did. So I'm just going to go long. Not right away. We've already made our decisions here. Wait for first 5-10 minutes before. See, it used to be 10 minutes. Now it's only 5 before we wind up getting in. So I like the stock. Obviously, an increased volume here, 7 million shares. We talk about daily, average daily volume, especially if you're doing something in the pre-market. This has news. I think it's not a great story, obviously, if you're a holder of the stock, but I think it gives us an opportunity to get a little bit more. So I've already put a little bit more money in there. I bought 25% more of my position into SoFi here in the pre-market. So I like the stock, and sorry about the story, but it's not a tech name. So, you know, it's a way to diversify a little bit, and I'm going to do that with SoFi, a bank I've wanted to get into a little bit heavier, so we're into it now. All right, here we go. AMD, MP, and Rubrik. So, again, just a bunch of different names and a bunch of different stories today. I like the broadening of these stories. It's not like Google, Amazon, Meta, you know, NVIDIA. So let's go over and talk about this China deal here with these chips.
Yeah, if you missed it, AMD, Lisa Su coming out straight up saying they're just going to go ahead and pay the 15% fee to resume China sales in response to maybe what happened the day before with NVIDIA. Yep. And then now we get this headline out of the White House saying that they're going to delay NVIDIA 2.5 years. AMD is just going to go ahead and pay it.
Exactly. And what I don't understand, Brendo, is that the Chinese didn't want the H20. Why are they going to want the MI308? I mean, they don't want a scaled-down version of NVIDIA's. Why would they want a scaled-down version of AMD's? But hey, here we are. So here's what Lisa Su said. She stated AMD has an active U.S. license, because prior they didn't. There was a license for the H20, but there was none for the MI308 because the Commerce Department was dragging their feet. So this is going to allow them to ship the MI308 to China. It's designed to comply with the current U.S. export restrictions. Lisa said AMD is prepared to pay that 15% fee to the U.S. government on chip shipments to China under the trade deal that the President Trump and Xi outlined in August. Some legal experts, though, Brendo, they argue that the fee may actually violate the Constitution's ban on taxing exports. Obviously, the aggrieved party here, NVIDIA or AMD, would have to be the one suing. They haven't, so we're good.
I guess the bigger question, or the way the market seems to be reacting, is does China even care at this point?
Look, here's what they're doing. Here's what I'm hearing that they're doing. They're putting less capable chips together en masse, Brendo, which are achieving the same output. They just take a lot more energy, which the Chinese don't have a problem with.
Yeah. So let's see. Not doing a heck of a lot. It's interesting. We were talking about that Ronaldo story with Perplexity. Happens on the same morning the New York Times is actually suing Perplexity for copyright infringement, for training or utilizing some of their content, I guess, which if you've been to the New York Times, I don't know why you would, but if you've been to the New York Times website in the past little while, everything is behind a paywall. You can't see it.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know, interesting. As soon as we saw that story, of course, we were fake selling all of our IT, all of our tech names there. But yeah, those MI308 chips now can legally get shipped there into China. So we'll see what that means for AMD. Apparently nothing right now. Flat, pretty flat here on the day. Obviously made that move down with the Nasdaq, now has recovered a little bit. I always prefer to short AMD than NVIDIA. You know, this 220 seems to be a level right now. So we're at 216. We're not near there. But if we do get a bump up, I am thinking again more short here as we start to just sort of build this base one more time. So you didn't actually really even build one here. It was more like we spent about a month and a half kind of figuring out between 150 to 160, 170 there. Finally got some decent news there, breaks a little bit higher through these levels, make a new high, then fade back out. And right now, underneath the 50 period and really respecting that move lower until we break above 220, I can't see a long in AMD for me. I think we'll let it base, let it base, let it base. And the day that we break higher, whatever you have to pay, 230, I don't know what's going to cause that name to go upside there. But if it does, I just think you'd be patient with this one. It's kind of the opposite to SoFi. SoFi, I want to dip in right now and try to get a little bit longer on this because as I see it as a boon for that business there. But for AMD, the China numbers were in and out of NVIDIA's quarter, I believe, as well as AMD. So we'll just see where this goes, but I'm not a long on this name, honestly, until we break above that 220. So I think with that being said, we got to look somewhere short, and that would be, you know, like we were just here. There's that 219 area. If there's some way we can rip into that area, this is where I'd be looking short. It's pretty clear, man, between 218 to 219. If something happens into that area, I'm going to get short. But the thing about AMD is when you're wrong, OB, get out. Like these chip names can run like crazy. So I'm going to say watch out for between 218 to 219. Hold it against that 220. If it breaks 220, then I think it's out of here. So that's my opinion there on AMD. And day 3 right now for Marvell in this space as well. That's underneath $100. So I think that could be also another key level. But they're kicking it back today, up 1% for Marvell, and you can see the difference there. Back, you know, drops in, takes down the 50 period, and now has been a little bit of support down there near around $87, $88. And this one looks to break a little higher. So I'd rather be long Marvell and short AMD on a day like today.
I think that AMD, yeah, nothing really happening here over the past couple of days. Just consolidative action, kind of really tight in and around this 215 area. I do like how we held that 200. We attempted to break below this 200. This was this kind of, I would say, this like reference low here. We had this strong push on at the beginning of the month, October 6th. The first pullback comes into that 196, so just below that. And since then, the bid has been pretty strong. We come back into those levels. Guess what? More of the same. There were buyers here before, and it seems like there are buyers here once again. So 200 seems to be a good level here that's been holding in recent times. But yeah, this consolidation, not really doing much with it today, but I guess it's giving you a tight range if you do want to work with it. But I'm not really seeing too much on it. Just in recent times. So
3 minutes to go here before we get to the open. We'll get through a couple maybe quick. MP Materials, we saw a number of these rare earth stocks start to get going again, catching bids yesterday on more comments from the White House on potential deals or further deals to come as far as investment into these. MP Materials was the original one, I think. That really got going in this space. So up again here this morning.
Yeah, Morgan giving them a nod today, Brendo, basically saying they're going to be the only globally integrated rare earth supply with full mine magnet vertical integration from extraction to refining. Look, here's the deal. Overweight from inline. Carlos de Alba raising the price target from 68.50 to 71. Brendo, the stock's already up almost 300% year to date. And even though China paused the rare earth restrictions for a year, Morgan still feels that does not solve U.S. dependency on rare earths, and they're championing MP to be the leader here locally.
Yeah, speaking of stocks just screaming right now, guys, just to wrap things up here, Rubrik up on a huge report. Just took out the highs, taking out 87 as we speak on decent volume. RBRK, one to watch today as well.
Sure, yeah, that's one of my top earning names today. Rubrik is kind of floating up here on low volume. I have here in the pre-market just shy of 650K shares traded. And yeah, this thing has moved up pretty aggressively since yesterday's close, about a 20% run here, breaking up into, let's go to the weekly real quickly. You can see we're breaking multiple weeks of action here, looking for this breakout of what is that, 87 and some change. Let's get specific, 88. So that's my look on Rubrik. MP with a bit of a bid. Again, we talk about the presidential seal there, maybe investing some more money back into some of those metals.
Yeah, US, wow. Okay, Marvell just spiked pretty nicely there through $100. Like, okay, that was just at $99. Let's have a quick little look here before these imbalances. Look here, we are already going, so we're having only a minute left until we start to open up right now. There's no Nasdaq names. You got BBAI here as a sell. There's really nothing there. There's some Rubrik action as well over there. But yeah, nothing going on too much in the Nasdaq here today. It might be a relatively light day here to trade. Let's watch SoFi right off the open. Welcome everybody. Hit the like, hit everything that you can right now. The Nasdaq is all the way back up. So there we go, man. Nice move right back up to the upside right now. Andre, do I hit the countdown or do you? He does. Okay, so we only have now 10 seconds to go before that countdown comes. So 20 seconds until the market opens. Hearing that the Trump administration does not really like this Netflix deal. So we'll hear if that continues to go a little bit lower. That's not a great sign. Now we do have 10 seconds to go. I'm going to be watching SoFi. A name that we didn't get to is Amazon. I like the Amazon long as well. So here we go. Thank you so much for watching us early at 8 a.m. right now. I like Amazon. Amazon caught a little bit of an upgrade there. Some nice talk. It's on the sticky note from Goldman Sachs. AWS strength, they noted. So there goes Amazon. Nice move to the upside right now. Let's see if Netflix is making any kind of a move here with Warner Brothers deal. We talked about that. There's a big volume spike. That's not the one we're talking about. We're trying to wait for not a market on open event, but here goes Netflix right now down to 98.50, down nearing 5% as the open market takes a hold of this name right now and puts some volume on its head. All right, SoFi dancing here, kind of exactly what we thought right now. I'm going to take a 27.50 break, okay? Right now, I know it's a little early, but I think this is a little bit of a special situation here where I don't know how much action we're actually going to get until we break one way or the other. So if we just kind of hover in here right now, then SoFi probably does well. I feel like if they didn't like the story, they would have hit it already. So let's get ready to go SoFi long. 27, I mean, we can even play off those wicks. What is that exactly? Yeah, 55. Let's go 27.56 long there on SoFi. All right, so that's what I'm planning on doing right now. Looks pretty good to me. Let's see if that can hit. Yep, Amazon as well.
It was muted there. So yeah, Netflix kind of came into that 98 there. So it did get involved.
Damn, Amazon is flying.
Peaking right back up. You can see this market going the other way there, straight to the upside. So,
wow.
I guess some of these mags are definitely much, much stronger. So I got to be wary of that one. I'm going to be nimble on this one. Let's see. Maybe we look again in and around VWAP there. So I was looking for that flush to come in and go right away, which it did. I got involved. We get below that 98, but if we're going to pop right back up through some of these opening prices right here, opening prices I have at 98.77, and there we are back through open right here. Let's see what we do. Maybe a clip of that 100 could be interesting. And we saw that Joe covered earlier that that 105 chain was pretty interesting as well. So I think I'm going to be a little bit patient, like you said, but willing to get right back in as well. Here, VWAP might be an interesting area for Netflix.
All right, I see some people, yeah, I mean, we love some BBAI around here as well. BBAI, a strong name for us over the last couple of days, on a move right now, but still red on the day. Look, man, SoFi, there goes Tesla, by the way, up to 456, but SoFi right now is flushing. I'm not in the name on the show here, but it just bounced off of that 27 area. It just went down to 27. And I was like, okay, maybe there's something there, but maybe now we have that bottom potentially put in there. I'm still going long on that high break right there on SoFi. I bought in the pre-market right here at 27.30. So that's my current situation on SoFi. We'll see if it wants to work. The other name that I have written down on the note today is Amazon and Tesla. So Tesla long around that 450 marker. We just had a quick look there. That's coming back in actually quite aggressively well, not that aggressively, but coming back in again right now for Isaac Tesla, for those of you that are in Detroit Lions. There's a football player with last name Tesla. He got a touchdown last night. All right, so this is coming back in. I know that doesn't mean anything to anybody pretty much, but if maybe Neil was probably watching it. You probably weren't watching the football game last night. I wouldn't
Absolutely not.
imagine there. So, okay, so that's, it was Sharif's Dallas Cowboys. Okay. They lost to the Lions. I wish they would have won because Detroit, of course, is in the NFC North. But okay, yeah, Tesla down to 452, maybe a buy. So let's just do that. If it comes back in 452 for Tesla, that may not be happening. Or what about Amazon at 230 flat, back into VWAP there? We'll see if we can get some Amazon back and around that level. But the market right now, Obi, wow, what was up with that move? We were talking about that move and we couldn't figure it out. So there it goes, man. And probably AMD as well. I hear some people in the chat saying that that's starting to go off. There, wow, what do we say about AMD? Oh boy, wow, that do not get out in front of that, or get out in front of that 220 if you're short. This is why, man, we hands off for a little bit and watch the sort of action here in the stock. Wow, what a move there for AMD. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, all over the place right now on this. AMD is the one that's motoring right now, not NVIDIA. For the first time today, it is my pleasure to throw it over to Adara.
Thank you very much, Sean. This isn't maybe market moving, but I think maybe something worth noting. Keep an eye on Tesla and some vehicle stocks. Trump just posting onto his social that he has approved, all caps, tiny cars to be built in America. This was something he kind of teased out during his announcement on Wednesday with regards to fuel, but apparently tiny cars are now allowed to be built in America. Maybe keep an eye on Tesla, Ford, and GM here. I do want to remind you all, 10 a.m., massive for economic data. We have PCE back from September, and we also have December University of Michigan consumer sentiment. 10 a.m. is also going to have some other September data like personal income, personal spending, but the biggest ones there, PCE, and then the December University of Michigan consumer sentiment, which does include that inflation print. I'll give all of that to you guys in 25 minutes. Back to you.
That's leading me to, honestly, all of these numbers coming through at 10 o'clock is part of the hesitancy here, I think, of getting into too many shares early or trades right now. So I am bidding, just to let everybody know, I do have two bids in right now. It's one's on Amazon and one's on Tesla. So my bid on Amazon, sorry, let's do Tesla first because we're here, 452. We just sort of talked about that. If we can fall back into where we opened, I like the 50-period moving average. You may want to start that trade around 453, but I'm going to give it a couple of seconds, and then I'm just going to follow the rules right here. And we just bounced off there. I should have been a little bit ahead. So we'll put our order now around 230.30 here for Amazon, see if we can dip our toes a little bit with Amazon. 230.30. We'll put some shares sitting there and see if that wants to work out there. But Amazon, that's going to be that. And then SoFi, we're waiting for SoFi. It's now down 8+%. It doesn't look like it wants to get going. We may have been wrong with our early buy here in the pre-market in our own account. I'm not going to, even if this thing goes 26, 20, I want to buy more. This is a name that I want to get involved with. So we did add a quarter to our position in the long-term spot there for some SoFi. But it just looks like it's AMD that is really starting to go up there, and it failed there at 222. No early positions for me yet, but we're going to figure that all out now. BBAI is all over the FIFA Olympics, okay? And the Olympics, I guess, FIFA and the Olympics. Two big events starting this year with airport security and whatnot for BBAI. I could see that. That's a good call there, you in the chat there. Before death. Thank you so much in the chat for bringing that part up. All right, Amazon is falling back in. We think this will be my first position. 20 cents from here, and we get long on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm watching this this Netflix here. I got involved a couple of times here, Sean. But yeah, this 100 came in, 101s came in now. Bit of a strong push, strong uptrend right off of the open there. But I am getting, you know, a little chopped up, but willing to pay that expense.
Oh wow, it's all the way up again.
All the way up to 105, 101.50s here on flakes. But yeah, again, we're looking for strong reasons to sell. Wow, there is some flushing coming in, coming right back into 100.5s here on the flakes.
Yeah, nice.
Another name that's running right now, Sean, is iRobot.
Ooh.
We're talking about some of those robotics names. iRobot coming into $4 as of right now. Day high $3.99 there. That market push right off of the open, that was pretty aggressive and strong, but it seems like we're catching a little bit of a breather right now. Google is very strong. Tesla is very, very strong. We were looking at Tesla a little bit earlier as well. Microsoft not really doing too much. Amazon taking those pre-market highs out as well as of right now. This 101 still holding on Netflix. So maybe we do see that 105, but I'm looking for a pullback into VWAP, and that VWAP sitting at 99.70s-ish, so about $1 lower here on the flakes. No idea if we're going to get there. I know I'm a little bit early here, if anything, or totally wrong as well, because we're still kind of trending to the upside here. 101 halves is the high. Let me just take a quick look here. Yeah, 101.58 is the current day high here on Netflix. This market tailwind is definitely playing a little bit of a part, I think.
Yeah, we had Netflix on there. We talked about the long, so I know you're in the short and you've just described it, but I think that that's, we didn't necessarily get, in my opinion, like that's the move we're looking for, this capitulated, or sorry, this big volume there, but that was off the open. So I'm kind of with you, Obi, over there. I know Joe grabbed the long in this, you grabbed the short, so we'll see what winds up happening. Joe long down from here, $99. Good job there, Joe, on that one. And there we go, the new position alert there. Joe long, Obi short. Let's see who winds up. Well, Joe's already cashed out, I noticed that. So Obi waiting for this one to come through. So let's wait to see what happens there. Look, SoFi, man, there it is. Not even that much size down there at 21. So be careful with it, 21, 21, 21. You know, 21 days until Christmas, as of yesterday was the 4th, of course. So right here, watch out for 27 on the break upside or downside there for SoFi on, again, the offering. Kind of well received, but the offering was $27.50, so you're going to be down another 50 cents. I think there's a lot of traders that are maybe now worried just a little bit about what this means for SoFi, and is there maybe something underneath that we don't know about, why they're having to raise capital. Robinhood getting kicked on the back of this as well, possibly. I think Robinhood's a much bigger reaction to what's happening in crypto. Right now, crypto is getting hit pretty good, man. Looks like Bitcoin wants to break 90,000. Nice downside push here for IBIT, I would imagine, as well. So there goes the market pushing back in, but crypto hasn't bounced at all. So a nice move back into $51 right now for IBIT, and watch out for that 90,000. We're right here right now. This is actually not a bad spot for me to think about a long. That is 50.90s. I may step in now and look to buy up some IBIT and see if we do get a little bit of a bounce back in Bitcoin right now. So that could be a good trade. And SoFi actually does wind up, I know it breaks, but it actually holds 27. So we do get a slight break there into 95, and then there's the hold. What just happened to me? All right, now we're long Amazon. So here we go, man. With the market coming back in crazy into VWAP, our Amazon position for me is first on right here. I'm assuming with this move down, hopefully your stock, Netflix is starting to go, but we're long small right now, about half a unit on Amazon. As it falls back into VWAP, we take it. Ideally, we'd like to load a little bit into here. So if we can get something just around that it's not that far from here, about 30 cents or so lower, into 229.80s or so, and that way we'll have a much better idea of a price action and see if it does wind up holding. So we're long right now on Amazon, decent position. Let's see if we get back up to 231. That's actually my target area. Let's just see if we get back up here, 231. Let's put an offer at 230.80, see if we can grab that first position in right now. Amazon, some other runners maybe today, SMR down 5%, so that's getting flushed out. Nice move yesterday on SMR, flushed out right here today, downside. Intel had some downside pushes yesterday as well. They're a little bit back up though, it looks like. Yeah, now up 3%. So if you didn't get a chance to sell yesterday, today maybe take advantage of that if that's in your opportunity there. All right, Bitcoin's coming back into 90,000. What's going on with your Netflix trade over there? Because right now I'm just sitting in Amazon.
Yeah, it's getting a little hairy here. Someone just slapped the bid all the way down to 101. Snap it. And it snapped right back up, so that was real. I was kind of just watching that.
SoFi.
So maybe some strong selling coming in now here, but those 102s look like they're on the horizon as of right now. Pulling back in, the market's taking a strong top wake on this 15-minute candle as of right now, so wiping it back all the way down here right now. I think Joe.
First of all, yeah, just real quick, I do want to go over to Joe, but we do have another brand new position. So right now it's SoFi. So I took the break of 20s there, just thinking that maybe we're through this level right into here. And let's just go see. I mean, we could have played a little bit more aggressive or more conservatively and waited for like 24, 25 to break upside. But right now we're into SoFi. I'm going to put a small offer at 25. We do have a decent sized position here in SoFi, and we do have Amazon on right now as well. So both these positions so far so good and working out here for us. Joseph, what you got for me, my guy?
It's a little Netflix, my brother. That's all long at 99.50s, and then we take that up to 102, just like that, as quick as you like, folks. Other than that, that's all I got going on right now.
They're otherwise known as Mini-Me. We've sort of coined each other that, and I've already told Joe, like, you know, we trade very similarly, and I think he is really improved a lot with his trading. So congratulations. Joe's the newest trader out of all of us. Sharif, the most experienced on the midday show as far as time is concerned. But Joe, of course, comes from a background of options and has been really doing great here live on the floor. So a big congratulations. Let's put it up, man. Put some ones up right now in the chat for my guy, Joey Options. Okay, there it is, man. SoFi. Here we go, baby. It's SoFi's world right now. We're all living in it. Nice move up there for SoFi. I do this every day. I talk about it, but there's our one-day goal met right there with SoFi. We get aggressive with this name, man. We're putting up some shares, and we're not backing away. Bye-bye, SoFi. Nice little 20-cent plus victory there on SoFi. Will it hold? I don't know. We're just talking numbers there, and if you want to get out of your position, maybe do that on SoFi there. There it is. What's up, Yaka? Swung more Intel calls from yesterday. Another 38K. You guys are the best traders to watch. It is very motivating. Aye, aye, Captain. We thank you for watching. That is for damn sure. We are now out of 25% of SoFi. Oh, damn, Obi. Boy, oh boy, are we feeling it today with my guy over here, Obi. There goes Amazon. Nice trade there on Amazon. Is that starting to pop up? I know I said I was going to get out some at 80. I take some out there at 60. There goes Amazon. Will our target get hit, man? We've got a target rate on you right now, Amazon. Let's go. Nice upside play. Oh boy, we're having a good time one more time here today. Obi, what's going on over there? Still that Netflix.
Yeah, still on that Netflix. Great long there. Definitely the opposite of what I'm doing here as of right now. But yeah, solid long through those 99s. I know you're seeing that hammer candle for sure off of the open there, Joe. I know what's up with that.
MC
so
hammer candle?
looking pretty nice there. Nice little push up into that 102 halves as of right now. So like I said before, I'm more than willing to be wrong multiple times for the move to come in, and that's just kind of my style here. But let's see what Netflix does. If we're going to hold this trend pretty aggressively, then we hold the trend pretty aggressively. But we're pushing up into some of these areas from the pre-market session here as of right now. That 105 could be interesting. I don't know if he was looking for a magnet into 105s there, but some aggressive strength. Market's pulling back a little bit here, a breather. So I'm looking around to see what is the name that is pulling us a little bit lower, and it seems like it is Apple. So Apple is the one that's looking a little distinctly different, as well as Softy, because those two were the ones yesterday that were pretty, or I guess a couple days ago, that were pretty aggressively sold. Apple's been selling a little bit aggressively back-to-back days as well. So sellers pretty dominant on that name as of right now. What else is going on? Warner Brothers still holding this 25 mark as of right now. So price accepting around $25 on a Warner Bros.
Thank you so much, KC there. Sean is magical. I don't know exactly. I don't have any sleight of hand magic tricks or anything like that. All we do is put in the work, and we try to give some trade ideas, and so far so good here today. Come on, SoFi, man, let's go. Like, we wrote down exactly this trade here today, right? If you're gonna follow me, please just check out this sticky note and let me know what you think about it. I mean, you can easily put comments down here and everything, but there it is, man. SoFi 27 to 27.50. So we just let 27 breathe a little bit down there for a couple minutes. We knew that there was going to be some extension on this move, and it does happen. And again, like, look when we're into this name, 940s. So that's exactly the plan of action for me, man, and I'm really happy to sort of execute properly right now and not get too carried away. You know, we'll still bring the energy for you guys. We'll bring the energy for you guys every day. I did not mean to hit enter there. I got out of Amazon literally at the same price I just got in on, so I only got out of 5% there. I meant to put it back at 60. We do get a nice spike up here in iRobot, just hearing that right now. So that's a nice move higher right now for iRobot, just up 42%. You know, Crickets. No, because this is another name. You talked about Rich Tech Robotic, man, and there goes iRobot. So congratulations to everybody that really had this name. It's funny, too, because we put this name up on our board when that news, what was it? Was it Tuesday, Adara? What was the day that we got that Trump? Wednesday. So this was $2 on Wednesday, up to $4 right now. Actually, you already looked at that. It was an 85% move or so. Add a little bit, 43% to that now again. So about 130 or so % move there on iRobot since, as Adara mentioned, Wednesday. So yeah, big time movements now in the market here for iRobot. All right, let's go over to Obi.
Right, guys, so some exciting news out of Canada for the sophisticated traders on the stream. Beta Pro by Global X Canada, Canada's largest provider of leveraged inverse and inverse leveraged ETFs, has just launched 6 triple new leveraged ETFs offering 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P, TSX 60, semiconductors, and on U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st. Plus, U.S.-focused strategies use currency hedging, offering the potential for pure performance and exposure. If you are a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out Beta Pro/3X Daily to learn some more. All right, guys, so yeah, it seems like this Netflix is looking for some higher highs here as we're consolidating near the highs. Market's pulling right back up here again as well. So that first 15-minute candle had a bit of a strong top wick there coming in, but we're kind of reclaiming that as of right now. So prior bars holding really, really well as of right now on both the Nasdaq and the ES. So screaming to the upside here are some of these Mag 7 stocks. Specifically, I'm just looking at Alphabet, right? Alphabet's the only one here. Maybe Meta. Meta's one that I don't have eyes on right now. Is Meta strong? Absolutely not. Meta kind of went all the way up to 669.72s and then pulled right back in, trading at 664s as of right now. So a little weakness on the Mag 7. So what might be pulling us up? It might be other places, other constituents, other than the Mag 7 for sure.
I do want to remind everybody. So, oh, by the way, so we did get, I'm going to show that we have big numbers coming at 10. So I'm going to show those in a couple seconds. We have US PCE price index. I'm going to go over this in a minute. We got some more out. We did not break through 65, which is that 200 period moving average. We knew this was going to be a trade today. So, you know, we're out. I'm out of half now, but that doesn't really mean anything. We did take some profit. Obviously, we've given some back here, unrealized, as it falls back in. If I do anything, it'll be averaging in at 27. And then my stop, which is already in, we always get questions about, like, where are the stops, right? My stop goes in as I get filled. So 26.89 break. So that bottom was 93.94. If it does come in there, we'll get out, and we will also put another bid down at like 27.05 or so, get a few more shares longer, put back the shares that we just got out. So it could be an L over there. We did, well, who knows? We did also get Amazon at the 50-period moving average, which we wanted to do. So that looks like pretty responsible trading for me there. So let's wait to see if we get it back upside right now. iRobot's still going, but I do want to show you guys what's coming up right now. You can go find it at Trader TV, research. Adara has this all up. It's also on our Ask Rock. No, I don't want to Ask Rock anything. But right into here, click to dismiss. Ciao. Wow. No, it's going to do that. That was, what is that? Say click. Okay, PCE 2.8 versus 2.7. These are all coming at 10 o'clock. PCE, core PCE, consumer spending, personal income, University of Michigan sentiment, all coming out. Go check out all of our socials, and you'll find more about that. If you are not a subscriber to our morning watch list, what are you even doing? But you should be part of that one to get more information about what's going on in the broader markets, as well as some trade ideas and just news about what's been going down so far. But there goes IRBT still upside. Now approaching that 50% mark is iRobot. Intel, let's check on that one here a little bit as well. I'm looking at my scanner to see what's really moving around. We're getting some movement on Boeing, Oracle, XOM a little bit here, but Intel up that 3%. Watch out for that 42, right? Key level there on the daily. So we have had a pullback here in SoFi. I'm not, okay, you know what? I'll put on a little bit here at 16 because we've just trying to bounce around a little bit here. Still early, it's 9:52 on this news-based day with Netflix kicking out, and then we just get SoFi with that offering. I won't call up Netflix because you're in it. The other one was maybe MP that we looked at today as well as a possible mover there, Obi. That's actually given a little bit back, now only up 1.2%. And then the metals space here with silver. That just, wow, what a break on silver, man. This daily, monthly, weekly, I don't care what chart you're looking at there for silver, it's breaking a little bit higher right there, now up 2.75%. And we will do a broader market look at some point as well, but there's gold. Yes, sir. Gold. We're into gold as well, so gold's a good little take there. And oh boy, Obi.
Oh boy. Reload on that Amazon.
And here we go.
Boom, boom.
Look at this, Joseph. There it is right now. This is a big move up there for my guy, Amazon. So we'll take a little bit more out right here as we make it all back. What we lose, well, we didn't lose anything in SoFi, but what unrealized loss on SoFi getting made up here by Amazon. But guess what else is popping right now? There goes SoFi. Let's take a little bit more out here at 31s, 32s, and we'll go 2 for 2 so far here today. But yeah, just waiting to let these trades settle out, that is for sure. But yeah, that's it, man. We'll get ready. It's 7 minutes now away from what's going to be a data dump. We've got Adara behind us. You can see she's parsing through things as we speak. And we're just excited to, again, bring you guys everything that we have here every single day. We're blessed to be joined by Obi here. Again, today we've got Joe making some trades for us. If you ever hear the bang, bang, bang and the things going crazy, that probably means Joe. He really likes the stream deck. So shout out to Joe again. And all right, man. Obi, what do you got going on over there? Right now, we're just waiting for Amazon to go, and we're waiting for SoFi to go as well. We actually missed that out on SoFi at VWAP. I should have been paying a little more attention to that. Right there, 27.35. So let's get an offer right now even and get a little bit more out on SoFi here and see if we get back up there. I'm waiting for that VWAP trade and then a break higher into 27.50.
Yeah, so I'm looking for where the potential next trade here is while I'm waiting for Netflix to kind of sort itself out. Buyers are still very aggressively strong on this one, all the way up into 103s now. But Rubric was a nice short as well. That thing popped all the way up to 90s, pulling all the way back to down to 85s as of right now here on Rubric. But this market is continuing to blast to the upside here. So we got to take a look at some sort of a sector map as of right now to figure out what it is. What part of the market is really kind of pushing us aggressively here on the day. When I look at the Mag 7s here, like I said before, Google is the only one that is standing out as of right now that is aggressively strong. So gonna keep eyes on that one, see if that one starts to slow down at all. This market is so aggressive to the upside. So maybe the trade is long the market here.
Oh, no, 100%. I think we always like to look at the broader market, and I'm just going to, right now, start to get a little bit more out. We are now 3 minutes away from those numbers, so we're going to be very, very careful. And by 3 minutes, of course, I mean 4. There's the target. So there it is, man. Target hit. Catch one of these glizzies in the face there. But here we go, man. I mean, when we got this position, we said our target was 230.80, so target met there on the first trade here for Amazon. And we not only did we hit the target, we also got an amazing reload exactly where we wanted it. So far so good here. I mean, if these multiple numbers can come out to the upside right now, then I think that we are well positioned right now in both of these names to figure it out. AMD had a great run early, a little bit of a pullback. There's just so many things happening. Like, that's a buy at the 200 period. A huge run up, a fade right back into the 200, right into the opening range of the day, and then boom to the upside there. Wow, AMD, that was definitely a missed opportunity by me. Well, it doesn't matter. There's lots of things popping through here. We did have to look at Tesla today. I like that 450. I'm actually going to cancel my 452 right now, just because we're waiting for that number. Why we wanted 452 again? That was that opening drive where we started from. So we'll see if it can come back in there. I don't want the market to dip in a couple minutes. If it does, though, I think it'll be temporary unless these numbers are outrageous. We can definitely look to see where we go after that. But SoFi is having a little bit of a tough time breaking above VWAP right now. We did just get some more outs there at 30, as we talked about. So nice out on VWAP there, and then some clear outs. We only have half of both of these positions right now. Half of our Amazon on and half of our SoFi. It could all get real nasty real quick. Numbers in 3 minutes. I don't even... Benton, I see you're talking about Lululemon. I'm a little scared to look at that name. So I'm going to go over to Adara and maybe talk about that after. What you got over there, Adara?
Also worth remembering here, guys, with these numbers, the PCE and the personal spending and income data, that's all from September. So that's extremely, extremely delayed. The only data that we're getting right here, right now for December is the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment print and the 1-year and 5-year inflation expectations. So I just want to give a quick reminder there. A lot of this data is going to be from pre-shutdown era.
All right. Yeah, thanks for that. So yeah, just to let everybody give that update there. These are, we had the government shutdown.
Yeah.
So obviously, leading into that, we're going to have delayed numbers. And so thank you. Oh, we have a thing for that. And instead of me saying it.
Thank you very much, Dara.
Let's get it from the man himself right over there. So, yeah, we're going to wait. Now it's 2 minutes away. With about 30 seconds to go or so, we'll throw it back to Adara, and she will, obviously go over all those numbers and have them for you right away, and then back to us for some market reaction. Michigan consumer sentiment, to me, would be the most important thing to happen here. But PCE, again, a gauge of inflation, could be very important. We are now 3 days away. We got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Right, so, all right, Obi, over to you for a minute, just if you want to update your positions. Mine remain the same, and we just took a little bit more out of SoFi.
Yeah, still I'm kind of dabbling in this flakes here as we kind of grind to the upside. iRobot, though, pulling back in. We actually got almost up to $5 there on iRobot, so we were talking about that breakout push. That definitely came in pretty nicely there as well. So strong trend. That trend seems to be breaking as of right now. But let me know in the chat, what are you guys trading? What are you guys looking at as of right now? And I think I'm just kind of waiting for some of these delayed economic numbers to come out here, which I think, in about 45 seconds.
We'll get those.
Rubric, people talking about VSCO, Meta. Okay, we can take a quick look at those.
Oh my God, Lululemon is popping.
LAC saying Jameson in the chat as well. So let's go to Adara. Happy
these numbers.
And numbers.
I want to, sorry. Got a little too excited there. Yeah, we have about 25 seconds. I really want to take this time, as Sean mentioned, to just go over what we're expecting. So University of Michigan consumer sentiment, forecast 52, prior print 51. PCE price index year over year for September, 2.8% versus 2.7% previous. Month over month for September, 0.3%. Core PCE year over year, we're expecting 2.8%. That would be a decline from the prior print of 2.9%. And core month over month, 0.2%. We just got these numbers higher than expected. University of Michigan consumer sentiment data, 53.3. All these PCE prints are going to be exactly in line. So I'm just going to focus on Michigan consumer sentiment for now. That's going to be 53.3 versus 52. So that's higher than expected. And the inflation aspects of this print are actually lower than expected. This is a great look here for University of Michigan. 5-year inflation coming in at 3.2% versus the forecast of 3.4%. 1-year inflation here, 4.1% versus 4.5% expected. So basically, what this University of Michigan consumer sentiment data means is that consumers are a little bit more optimistic than maybe we thought they'd be, and they're expecting inflation to be a little bit lower than what we were expecting them to think. Now, for PCE, year over year, 2.8% in line with estimates. Month over month, 0.3% in line with estimates. Core PCE, I'm seeing 2.82%, but that's more or less in line with the 2.8% expected. And then core month over month in line with estimates. The bigger data here is going to be what we got there for University of Michigan. A lot more optimistic there than we were necessarily thinking. Market touched that 627.50 area, but pulling back a little bit. What's certainly not pulling back, though, I would say largely is NFLX. Netflix continuing to try to push higher. This company inking a massive deal here for Warner Brothers, though I was seeing CNBC reporting that apparently the Trump administration is a little bit skeptical of this deal. Now, last but not least, there are tons of earnings on watch. Here is RBRK. They actually had a double beat and guidance better than expected for Q4. Lots of other earnings names, including Ulta Beauty, Sentinel One, Victoria's Secret, ChargePoint, Hewlett-Packard, lots more. And again, definitely make sure to check out Exit TTV Research for these earnings calendars and our morning watch list for all the info you need to know. We're going to send you back for more trading action with Sean and Obi. Before we do that, we'll take a moment to thank our friends at Orogenics. There are millions of concussions and zero-proof therapies. But Orogenics, trading on the NYSE as OGEN, they're advancing a new standard with its intranasal, brain-first approach to concussion treatment. With an $8.9 billion market on the horizon, Orogenics is positioned to drive what comes next. See what's ahead. Book a meeting today. Check out Orogenics, and thank you very much here to Sean and Neil. Take it away.
Thank you very much.
Sean and Neil?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. It's all good. No, it's all good. So that's now it's happened to both of us.
Yeah, exactly.
You called me Neil. I know we look very much alike, and then I see that right now that happened again. But yeah, shout out to Adair. Thank you for going over all of those numbers, man. I mean, it's the absolute greatest thing I think about this show is that we can give you guys live updates right there. The funny thing is, I'm gonna cop to something. So I was eating lunch over there the other day, and I was just going through YouTube, and I actually clicked on another live trading show. I mean, the dude had like 200 people watching, but guess what I heard in the background? No word of a lie. Our show.
No.
Yes. So this guy was trading, talking about all his stuff, and I could hear Joe and Sharif's voice in the background. So I went over to my tabs, and I was thinking, like, do I have the show running? And I mean, they're sitting right here.
Yeah.
So I put in both earbuds, and yeah, this dude had our show live in the background. And like, Adair's breaking a story. This guy's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, so whatever, man. You are now rocking with the best of us right here. And there we go. Light the lamp, baby. It's Austin Matthews style right now as the Maple Leafs are back. The Maple Leafs just beat the Carolina Hurricanes, Joe. That's #1 team right there, down with the Hurricanes, 5-1 Maple Leafs yesterday as we're rocking. If you can't tell if we're on one, well, we are on one today. Great energy in the studio today. Thank you, Obi, for bringing that to us right here. Bang for SoFi, man. There it is, man. It is another chicken dinner winner, Joe. Yeah, let's go, man. We'll see what's for dinner here today, but it's a good day so far. And sometimes I get told to bring more energy. Can you guys believe that? So right now we're bringing as much energy as we possibly can right here for the show. So
more energy, more passion.
More. You know what that's like, my guy over there. But yeah, it's a tough life around here.
Yeah,
but there we go. So nice move up there for SoFi. And we did wait for a little bit of time here to possibly get into some more Amazon. So we did reload it. It's another reload there at 2:30. Let's see if Amazon wants to kick it back up to the upside, man. More energy, more passion. Bring it. Let's go, man. We're here. No worries. No Neil, no problem. We're glad that he's having a relaxing day off. Well-deserved. But we're lucky enough to have Obi filling in for the greatest Neil Roberts. So thank you for watching. Good day so far here today. Shout out to Ramin, Andre, Joe, Obi, Adara, Brendo, Sharif. All right. I'm only in these two names, but we're going to figure it out at some point here. We're seeing Five Nights at Freddy's 2 tonight. Excited about that. We've got a big weekend in our household, man. My daughter's part of the Santa Claus parade there for Etobicoke. That's happening tomorrow, so come join us on Lakeshore. Tomorrow we'll be running around there. We've got our hockey Christmas party happening tomorrow as well. We're waiting for some big news as far as that is concerned. And then I'm off to Mount St. Louis Moonstone on Sunday, do a little snowboard action with my son. He's very, very excited.
You always snowboarded?
I don't snowboard at all.
Ski?
I'm taking him there. No, so my problem is I can't apply weight to my knee there. I had a operation, and instead of treadmill, I do elliptical and things like that, but it's okay. Anyways, no, so I know you're a skier.
Snowboard. I like snowboard.
Oh, you're snowboard. Okay, yeah. maybe if you're not, one day we can talk about that. If you're ever up there, maybe I can meet you up there one day. But yeah, so far so good here on the day. You have any plans this weekend?
Yeah, I think my sister's coming over from Chicago today, so just maybe doing some of that.
Older, younger?
Well. Younger.
Oh, nice,
I'm the oldest sibling. So.
She's got a family or still?
Yeah,
nice. Okay, great, man. That's always great. Spend time with some family. Okay, so just there goes SoFi. This is going to be the one for me today, man. This is the moneymaker. It's our #1 trade idea. We marked it down here as our #1 idea. And whenever that happens, it's right there on the sticky note. You guys can go find it. SoFi long, $27. So here we go, man. Let's see if this wants to work upside. It's SoFi.
I think that people in the chat talking about SMX, so let's take a quick look at what that name is doing as of right now. SMX, that one, a little bit of a crazy name. I'm talking about like maybe, is it an HKD slow burner 2.0? Maybe perhaps. We hit a high of 445s this morning. So that was pretty wild there. Kind of settling down, consolidating 250s as of right now. But yeah, this thing has been on a crazy run here. You can see just a few days ago, where were we? Yeah, $4 right here on the 26th. So yeah, stair step squeezing action here on SMX. So I don't really want to touch this one because I just feel like I'm not really as focused or you know, in the zone to really kind of exercise executions on this properly. But you know, just watching it, I think it's interesting, the story that's unfolded, a stair-step squeeze. So definitely squeezing out stragglers and any players who are taking this name, swinging it short, or maybe taking it short a little too early is what I'm saying on SMX. Did you trade this one on day one or day two?
No, I didn't even look at it yesterday.
The halts were absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I know. I know it was a talked about idea on the midday show. So you know, maybe on the midday they'll be back into that. Adobe on the move, yeah, we'll do that too. And I wanted to look at Lulu. Thank you for that. If you want to call up Adobe there, Obi. Yeah, I don't know what's going on right here, guys. I mean, let's have a quick little look here into this space. Check out my guy over here, Lululemon. Like, really liking this stock. You know, we're now well in the money on this name. We had bought this a little bit pre-earnings right here. We thought that Lulu was, you know, just a little bit early on the retail move, right? And so my bad on that one, but you know, we bought a little bit and then we waited our 3-day rule. We got some more into 160, our average price about 184 or so right now on Lululemon, I believe. I'll double check that, but at the end of the day, it's a nice upside play here for Lululemon, and really happy to be involved with this one as that starts to go. The other retail name that I made, and I told you we're trying to get a little diversified against a tech, there goes Target. So nice move here on Target. We're long this in the low 80s as well. So that looks like it's starting to work out there. And then SoFi is the money tree today, man. That just keeps on going. We bought some in our portfolio. We bought some here. It's really leading the way there. There it goes, man. Thank you so much for that, those kind words there in the chat. Here it is, right? PW. Sean is my trading general. All I do is follow orders.
Okay.
Deserves a medal. I don't know about that one right there, but I'm happy, you know, to keep on doing this, man. And it's just been great. We are now, and this is no cap, man. We were 11 for our last 12. Add 2 more on today. That's 13 for our last 14 trade ideas have been money making. And I mean, if you don't believe, man, just keep coming back. I don't know how else to do it other than to prove it every day. We do the trade review, and I know sometimes it's a rough day for one of us, but we still talk about it, and we are all very honest with our trading. And if we're red, we tell you. If we're green, we tell you. Today it's a green day here, and we'll go 2 for 2. Right now, it's only 10-10. All of these trades could turn around. I just tried to get some out on Amazon there, so I'll get some out here at 25s, but I was waiting at 30. So let's take a little piece out. Amazon, maybe not the trade that I thought it would be there today. We do indicate it though on the note, and it was just part of our sticky note there today. And these were the trade ideas that I posted out. SoFi long 27.50. That's at 27.60. Amazon long right here. It didn't get down there, so we bought it early. Tesla long, Netflix. Look out for that bottom. So my day is now set, man. We've made our 1-day goal alone with SoFi. Oh boy, man, Obi, this was a real good trade, man. Yeah, right there. You got
some in the personal as well today.
Yeah, and I got some in the personal there for that. So we just want to say a big thank you to everybody out there. Thank you, Silverado there. Thanks for your help today. You are welcome on that one. And again, just keep throwing these up in there. Real deal Holyfield. I just don't want to get my ear bitten off by anybody. Don't watch out for my ear over there, Obi. Very must have. This is a must have for every stock trading platform. Oh boy, I better get that note and pass that along. So thank you so much for that one as well, everybody there in the chat.
Yeah, so let's see. I did pull up this Adobe here as of right now. So yeah, Adobe kind of nice grind to the upside, strong buying happening there as well. Again, in line with the rest of the market here. So the market just steadily just grinding up higher and higher, so melting up it seems like as of right now. Still, in terms of the Mag 7, yeah, nothing too crazy. Google's still holding up on its own there as well. I guess Netflix is kind of pushing, or was pushing up here, starting to take a bit of a curl sideways here as of right now. Sean, great call on the IoT. Say we got a super chat here from RSQ right there.
What? That's what IoT is doing?
What is IoT up to?
I thought that was your chart. Oh, no, okay.
No, that's not.
I didn't even look at IoT today. You go to talk about it, because I better not look at too many things here.
I have no idea what IoT is doing here. SamSara, okay, cool. Let's see what that one is up to.
We're long 37.
All right, so aggressive bid on that one too as of right now. So SamSara coming in alongside with the market here as well. So yeah, this is blasting to the upside.
Oh, wow.
I guess we're taking a nice continuation off of some of those economic numbers as well as of right now. So
oh my God, Obi.
What's going on? Another reload?
No, man. We've been talking about SamSara for weeks, and it was the one that I was like, shh, this one's gonna go, this one's gonna go,
and it went. Come on.
All right, man. It's been a good little run there for SamSara. We'd even talked about this yesterday. There it goes, man. This is that break that we were waiting for. We actually we talked about this when we did the work there. Again, an AI play in the transportation here, industry, freight, logistics, everything. SamSara just continues to, oh yeah. We might have to get some out, man. We might have to do some portfolio rebalancing over up in here, but that's just been great. They're trading for SamSara. And now guess what's in the club right here? Target hit again for Amazon. Obi, just please come back and trade with us every single day. I mean, this has been such a run today. SoFi, Amazon, 2 for 2. IoT, Lululemon's going upside. The other play that I'm interested in, we've just recently bought some shares in Uber. So that was $85 or $86. That's had a nice move here today again. But it's not just that, man. Look at the market. I think this is a broader market story, right? Bitcoin also bouncing. We talked about that. They're at 90,000. Obi, last time you were here, man, you told me you're building one of these things for us. I don't know where that will end up going. I know you didn't actually say that. You just mentioned that. Remember you were saying that with
I think the software was built. I think I just have to kind of.
No, I'm just playing around. But you were mentioning there. I know that you have some coding experience. But this is brought to you by TradingView, and you can see here. Where's the red, man? Where's the red at? Maybe healthcare technology. We could see a little bit AbbVie downside, AMZN downside, Gilead downside. But Eli Lilly, we really like. Merck's been on a heater as of late as well. But I should maybe talk about some positions first, because I see the net is dripping down just a little bit here. And I think that's part and parcel with SoFi. So I'm going to get one more piece out here at 55 if we're lucky enough to do that, which we just were. I'm going to take another piece out on Amazon if we can get that at 230.69 or so. I may take a moment to go grab a coffee in a couple seconds. We'll wait for Adara's throw, and then maybe we'll go grab one. Oh, there's Randy. There's Randy. Yeah, I'll grab you a coffee too, of course, Randy. We'll do that in a couple seconds here. As there's Randy. I don't know if you can, if you move over, you might be able to see. There's his foot. There he is. Hey, Randy. How's it going over there? Yeah, thumbs up. So thanks, Randy. Working on the stage, man. We're doing a lot more. It's the same kind of renovation, but we're just putting things together. So want to thank Randy, obviously, for his continued work here. And I'm going to go grab him a coffee now, because that's how we do things. All right, so that's what's good so far. There, we could take a little bit more out on some of these plays as Amazon. Look at that. Remember we set our 230.80 target? That's another thing that's changed for me a little bit, Obi, as well, over the last little while, is once certain targets are made, stop holding out for the dream all the time. Yeah. You know, to hold that 10 or 20%, I'm getting better at that. But I do think that it is worthwhile to realize profit when it's there. And, you know, again, I just want to thank everybody for the kind words. Keep hitting the like and the subscribe as we go, man. Tell YouTube that you've now found the best trading show out there. Over 10,000 or so watching earlier. I'm not sure what we've got on right now, but as I said, man, I even know the competition is watching our show. So big shout out to them. And thank you for continuing to support you. And hey, if you are that guy that has about 100 to 200 people watching you right now, I caught you yesterday, my guy, watching us. And hey, all I can say is thank you for the clicks. Thank you for the like. And, you know, we're back every single day. That's the one thing about it, is we do not take time off around here, man. All of us are back every single day, and if we're not, we get even better traders to sub in for us, like Mr. Obi. So Adara's here. We got Sia. Saw her last week. Yes, Adara?
What was this individual's name? Shall I do a Google deep dive?
No, you shall not. I am not. We're not going to promote these guys.
Oh, I wasn't. No, I just mean more internally. I was just curious.
Okay, I'll talk to you about it
Messages
afterwards.
to me is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Let's go get them. No, but we're interested in on everything that's happening on YouTube. As Brendan said, man, we do deep dives. We figure out who our audience is, what you guys want to watch, and part of that was the change of the show into 8 o'clock, right? I feel like it's a much. Oh, we're frozen right now here on our quotes. So. All right, so this is what happens. So this has happened to us sometimes. Randy probably unplugged something, so good job on that one, Randy, right there. As now, Randy, just plug her back in. There it is, see? Look at that. You call out Randy, he plugs it back in, quote's working again. Thank you, Randy, for that one. And of course, that had nothing to do with Randy, I'd imagine, right there. But I was just gonna take a moment there. If quotes ever go down and your system is down for a minute, we've had issues with Cloudflare. We saw they were down. I think they were part of that Shopify move as well over the last couple of days where they went down. So sometimes you will have some quote issues back and forth. But yeah, that's what's going on there. I better get Randy a coffee before he unplugs it again.
I think things are frozen once again, man. So something's definitely happening.
Yeah, I can't leave my desk if we're gonna have quote issues right this second. So
okay, I have other data feeds here as well. So we'll see if that kind of changes. It seems like it's happening all around.
SoFi is just
on the floor, but yeah,
we're good. I'm back live now, so I think everything.
It's kind of getting a little bit choppy, coming right back in here.
Look at this market, Obi.
So it should be interesting. Yeah.
So you're still in that Netflix short. Is there an out? Thank you so much, Los Polos Hermanos, man, with that energy, man. We really like that comment there in the chat. I really appreciate it. We're trying to give you guys a little bit of energy, but at the same time, like, kind of calm down a little bit. I know that's not necessarily what it's been like here today, but we've gotten feedback that you guys love the energy. So there it is. Thank you so much, Los Polos Hermanos, for that comment. Over there. It really means a lot to me because, yeah, I've gotten feedback. Let's get that energy kicking a little bit. So we'll continue to do that. But, yeah, give them a little bit of an update there, Obi, on what your plan of action here is for Netflix.
Okay, so let's pull that up here, NFLX. So I'm just looking at this here, just I'm getting a little involved in this grind up here. It's very clearly getting bought up every time it hits a moving average here. But we've started to get a little bit sideways here in and around this area as of right now. So I am kind of, someone in the chat was like, oh, are you DCAing into Netflix? I think yes. That is kind of what I'm doing here as of right now. Again, not necessarily in the maximum size here, but again, I don't know when and if this is going to crack, but it's starting to take this a little bit of a shape here, a nice little curl. Lots of relative volume in the morning. Volume starting to drop off as well as of right now. So just keeping an eye on it here. Any sort of aggressive moves, then I'm looking to potentially push out here. But this market tailwind is definitely not helping for sure, but take a look at this, a little bit of a pullback as of right now. So going to be patient with this one, and when and if it does come in, more than willing to kind of just pound it in even harder on the right side of the move there. But yeah, let me know what you guys are trading. As well, Meta on fire. A lot of people talking about Meta right now in the chat. So let's take a quick look at Meta. Wow, Meta is the one. So Meta is the one that kind of came right back up. 670s was the high, and then 672.50s currently is the high as of right now. Strong volume through that push as well, Sean. So yeah, a lot of people maybe trading Meta as of right now. SMX getting called out once again. So yeah, maybe this one, another halt to the upside. So I think, what are the chances we take out that 445? And if we do take out this 445, what are the chances we step up another quarter and go to 750s, right? That's the question. We've seen where this is coming from. This is coming from $4. $4. So again, I'm not really, I don't really know how to trade this thing, but I am watching it. I guess it's fun to watch as well, but not watching it close enough to trade. MP Material still kind of consolidating in and around its VWAP as of right now. People talking about trade desk. Let's take a quick look at TTD here. Okay, so that's some strong moves there on trade desk. Did this thing have anything? It was doing relative volume in the pre-market session, but it seems like it's pushing up higher on lower volume as of right now on the trade desk. So good look by you guys there. It seems like Netflix wants some fresh highs there. So 103 halves potentially coming in. But yeah, I think again, when I do, if and when I do punch out here, it'll be through some significant levels I have marked out, and again, more than willing to participate in it over and over again until it kind of shows me what I want to get aggressive there as well. So let me just take this wick out as of right now. This wick is pretty aggressive. That's going all the way to 107, so that's not real there on the chart. But yeah, Netflix in line with the market here. Okay, so thank you for the super chat from Corey Wing 251 saying, can Adara have a segment of her own called "She's Really Short"? She's the best at shorting the market. Love the show, guys. When she subs in, okay, cool, nice.
Okay, we could do a potential Adara shorting show. That's for sure. It's a funny thing, Adara, because do you remember, Adara, when you first started? You and I were talking, and you're like, you were actually afraid to short stocks, and she was like, I don't really understand the shorting thing, and that's part of it. And we've really seen Adara, grow obviously as a trader, and more importantly, I think for the show, I mean, probably one of the best news people around, I think, breaking the news and then analyzing the news with you guys like real time. This is not just like, here's the story. Often Adara will dive deep, so we want to thank Adara for all of that. And we're diving deep right now, and I just posted this up on Twitter, right? And I said right here, I mean, what a good move this has been here for the note of the sticky note right there, because we just put this out right here. We stay fly with SoFi, and there's our 27 marker right there. It's our #1 trade idea for the day. Get long on SoFi. Our second trade was get long on Amazon right now. So that's going to be a 2 for 2 and big time banger right now as Amazon has the reload on it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, bang. Upside. SoFi. Got a reload on it right there, but we didn't. We were waiting for 27 flat there. We missed that by 5 cents. But it's the double up on SoFi and Amazon. Sorry, the triple up on Amazon, single up there on SoFi. And over to Adara now, as our quotes are pretty choppy. You can see we've already reported that. We hope that gets a little bit better. Over to Adara, which will give me a second to go get my man over here a quick coffee. You okay? Well, you need anything?
I'm good. I got my Tim's right here.
Good, because I can't carry 3. Okay, let's go back over. Let's go back over to Adara.
Yeah, I have to say thank you very much for that super chat. That is very kind, and I'm so grateful to be here and be a part of this community every single day. I want to talk here about AKAN, which is our first small cap, and like another small cap on this list. And actually, its only catalyst is it released this fun little news headline. It was moving up higher post-market. As you can see, I couldn't find anything concrete for that move. Apparently, I saw some stories connecting this to the marijuana space. I'd have to look more into that. But either way, it's also now saying apparently that it's controlling the map behind Mexico's telecom boom. So that does not seem at all related to cannabis. So I'll keep you guys posted. Either way, this name is a really small market cap, $890,000 market cap. Float here of about 730,000 shares and a short float of 20%. So that is really significant. Be careful here with the float and short float on AKAN. I also want to talk here about CHPT. Charge point, again, slightly larger market cap here. Tepid earnings, but really nice reaction. This reaction certainly isn't tepid. Had larger than expected loss per share, but they beat on sales and they're guiding for next quarter, roughly midpoint here. And last but not least, SMX. SMX, not really a small cap now, around $360 name. But SMX releasing yet another kind of empty news headline here, saying this morning that they didn't change the story. The world finally connected the dots. So very bold headline being released by Security Matters, pushing this one to the upside. But guys, you know what I just found? Something crazy. I'm digging into exchanges and I stumbled across BTCC, top 30 globally. But here's the wild part. BTCC has never been hacked, while major exchanges keep getting wrecked. BTCC stays untouched. 0 KYC if you are in the US, Canada, or Europe. Through Trader TV, you get 100 USDT coupons for registering, plus a 15% bonus thing that covers losses up to 15K USDT. Seriously, what am I missing here? Scan that QR code for more info and go back here to Obi and Sean eventually.
Adara, so I'm watching this market here, looking for any sort of next trade here. Netflix still kind of holding this 103. Every time we pull back into this 103, you can see here, I've tried it a couple times here, this 103 holding, sustaining pretty well as of right now. So yeah, definitely a strong buyer here on the flakes as we continue to push higher and higher. But let's see, in terms of the Mag 7s, it seems like Amazon's about to break high a day as of right now. And Rubrik came all the way back. Rubrik came to $90 as of right now. So yeah, that thing is absolutely crazy. Okay, that's an aggressive strength here. It seems like, Joe, this is getting to 105. This looks like it's trying to push to 105, that area that you kind of marked out there. So yeah, definitely very, very wrong on this one as of right now. On the flakes, maybe we can try again in and around that 105, but that push up into this 80s, that was absolutely crazy there as the market pulls back as well, right? So 104 is potentially incoming here on Netflix. Market, though, taking a little bit of a breather, taking a little bit of a pullback, looking distinctly different than that of Netflix, kind of pushing up, grinding. I guess people really like the Warner Brothers deal here. 103's held like a champ. I was looking for that push back below, didn't really break down, and now we're looking $1 higher here, pushing up into 104s. Yeah, I'm definitely wrong on this one. Market taking a pullback. I'm looking for there's Joe right there with
yeah, man, we're jamming out to
are you still in that long?
No, I'm out now. I was out at 102.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 102 I was out. But Obi, I did buy some in the personal account at 101.50s,
okay, nice.
Or a little bit less. So around 101 I bought some in the long-term account. So shout out to Netflix and company, climbing up to that 104 level that I was talking about in the options chain. So keep an eye out, guys. Just because I say, hey, it's call, it doesn't necessarily mean buy. We can look at call options in multiple ways. And for me personally, I look at them as resistance zones, but also magnet effect as well, too. So you just have to really be pay attention to what price action is telling you and how the stock is reacting. Netflix now climbing up to 104.
105 seems almost inevitable as of right now. So we're pushing up pretty aggressively there. And that Amazon as well, that's coming up into day's highs there. But the market does look a little distinctly different. It is starting to pull back. First red candle here on the market. So yeah, definitely one to watch out for. Where is the reversion across the board? That's what I'm asking. Google might be the one because that one was pretty aggressively strong coming in off of the open.
All right, yeah, we got a coffee there. I spoke to the caterer again there today, and yeah, he's doing the best.
You dealt with those peanut butter.
I've dealt with those. He's been great, and he mentioned that it was actually the driver. I told you the other. Oh, you weren't here the other day. He took pictures and was like, man, these guys are not feeling the peanut butter sandwiches over here. Yeah. And then today it was supposed to be pancakes, and it was subbed in with bacon and eggs. So I think that he's really taking the protein to a whole new level over there from the catering. So Sharif is, I think he's just out doing a little bit of a walk, but he would appreciate the more protein, of course, as we all do around here. So yeah, look there. Okay, I was going to say I'm waiting for 231s again. We just got it at 97 there on Amazon. So that was a good fill as we are getting very, very light now. It's 10:30. So wow. This name, let's get another piece out on SoFi, Obi, at the day's high here. Monster trade, to be honest with you, for me on SoFi. So that's really led me to the whole day here. We just top it off sort of with Amazon and looking for more trades, right? And then in our own account, I don't know how to search. I'm not sure how to search Netflix popping. Okay, I know you guys just talked about it. The thing about it was, IoT, I don't know how to search Google, Twitter, but I remember talking about this a little while ago, Internet of Things, and I really, really like this stock, and there it goes, up there to the upside. It was one of those secret names that we had talked about over the last couple of days that we're really looking forward to that report. SamSara and Internet of Things, IoT, up 14% right now. I think it's about, I don't know if it's about time to start cashing out of everything. This is a big move there for the Nasdaq here today. And I just heard 104.50. So basically on the note today, we have SoFi long, Amazon long, Tesla long, Netflix long. But the thing about the Netflix long was I wanted to wait for it to bottom out somewhere. It didn't, and I know you're in the short and you're out of it and you just discussed it, so that's good. But it didn't give us a bottom at all. It just took off immediately. And we were talking, I was talking about how much like I kind of appreciated this story here early for Netflix and that I liked it, but I did not think that we would go from down, was it 4% or something, to up 1.25. So nice move there for sure. All right, SoFi maybe topping out. I'm going to get out of another piece right here. All right, well, here we go. Senator Warren in my ear right now saying, thanks. Netflix, this deal is going to create, of course, a monopolistic environment. And, of course, we need to protect everybody. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening here with this trade on Netflix. And if Elizabeth Warren wants anything to do about it, maybe this would not happen. But I think it's maybe a little too late for that. I feel like there's a lot of interest in this said deal here, and it looks like it's going to get the approval. Anything can get, sort of swatted down at any time. But it is a deal made between Warner Brothers and Netflix, going out around, was it 27.25? I think was the talk there. 27.75 total enterprise value there for WBD. So a little bit of a room to climb to the upside right here. Adair, you got any color on that story for us?
Yeah, I do actually. So what I have here is Elizabeth Warren, who is very, very much like kind of anti-merger in general. She said that this proposed deal between Warner Brothers and Netflix is an anti-monopoly nightmare that'll actually raise consumer costs and limit choice. Now, here's the thing. There could be some issues here with regards to this merger going through for Warner Brothers and Netflix, but those issues are actually more likely due to the Trump admin. I've already heard reports they're a little skeptical because we know that apparently Paramount was already talking to regulators, and Paramount was really trying to push this deal through because they basically said to Warner Brothers, we are more likely than Netflix to get you that regulatory approval you need. So there are still some regulatory issues either way, it sounds like, for NFLX. Stock dropped a little bit on that, but I just wanted to provide some more context and color commentary. Back to you.
Yeah, so that swipe up was pretty aggressive there. Strongest volume, or some of the strongest volume in a little bit there on that push up into 104.79s on Netflix. And the first red bar printed here on the Nasdaq. So let's see if we can kind of catch a little bit of a pullback here, or does the market continue to give us this aggressive bid to the upside here? So we're bouncing off of that 25.5 in the morning, 25.6-ish area, off of the open there. Nice little flush in the pre-market session here. When was that? That was around 8:30, and then we just ripped all the way up into, I guess, now 10:30 now. So for the past couple of hours, just straight line up here on the Nasdaq. Maybe taking a little bit of a breather around 10:30 should be interesting here. What I'm noticing, Sean, is that every day around 10:30, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, we're getting those crazy kind of U-turns over the past couple of weeks. So that's definitely been throwing a wrench into some things. But again, if you're watching out for it, if you're looking out for it, I think that's something interesting as well to kind of watch for and maybe potentially figure out ways to capitalize on as well here. So iRobot. How far did you get? Okay, so 495 still continues to be the high there on iRobot. Rubrik did get back up to 90s, still holding this 89 area as of right now. What else? I had Ulta Beauty on watch as well. That thing is pushing up aggressively to the upside as well as of right now.
I may or may not be involved in that.
Okay, all right. So maybe Adair trading some Ulta Beauty, looking absolutely beautiful to the upside here. 580s. Push all the way to 609. So let's take a quick look at ULTA here. So yeah, nice solid strength here. Earnings day one today. Beautiful continuation to the upside. So shout out to Dara for having that trade. What else did I have on watch? Oklo had a bit of an offering there. So Oklo, take a look at OKLO. So Oklo offering overnight. Bit of a continuation of selling off of the open there, but reverting back above 105s as of right now on Oklo. So those were kind of the stocks that I was watching coming into the open there, along with Netflix and some Warner Brothers as well. We're kind of pulling back in. Was that exhaustive action? That's what I'm asking now. I definitely got exhausted into that. But 103s held pretty well like a champ. Let's see if we can come back into 103s, or do we sustain higher lows here on Netflix? Could be one to watch.
Yeah, it was also a good one. I like that, watching Netflix there. See if we can watch some Netflix. Oh, you know what we started watching on Netflix recently? It's like a sitcom called Tires. It's pretty funny. A little mature though. Tires, if you're interested. That's a bunch of dudes running a tire shop.
Okay.
Get the guy's name, but it's pretty funny. Pretty funny show.
Shane Gillis?
Yes. Funny stand-up comedian, and he's great in the show. So it's a good one there. Oh, we just started watching. It's a little, I don't know. Anyways, that's what we're doing on Netflix right now. All right. There was a question on time and sales there in the chat. If you, here, maybe I can find that. Here it is, send selected. Let's just do a little bit of work right here. Obi's great at this too, so maybe we can both have a quick look. Great question about time and sales, much higher than level 2 bid ask. Watching WHLR, bid was 610, ask was 613, but huge green time and sales prints in the 7. No, so, all right, so you will often, that shouldn't happen too much. That was probably pre-market. You're going to get a lot of dark pool prints coming off all the time. And so sometimes at 8 o'clock is the most noted time for these dark pools. So I'm guessing that if you're looking at WHLR, you will get, yeah, so let me just see if that was, yeah, look, I mean, look at these prints, right? So there we go. So this is exactly, see, sometimes we get exactly what you mean. Right there, thanks for the super chat. But right there at 8 o'clock, and it just happens all in the pre-market, there's a reporting structure, and the market allows these dark pool prints to late report. So often some of the pre-market trading or overnight trading will get dumped basically onto the time and sales at 8 a.m. What's another time? 8 a.m. is popular, sometimes around 4:30 or right at 4 o'clock. Oh, for dark pools dumps. Like, do you ever see them?
Yeah,
while you're trading blue ocean overnight?
No,
okay.
There's no.
Yeah, so 8 a.m. to me is the most. Between 8 to 8:15, you'll get a lot of these prints. So these trades don't happen. No one's getting long here at 350 or short or long up here at 750. They're just trades that had happened. And I think the reporting period, I think it's 24 hours, it might be 48 hours they have to report all of their trades. So you can Google that up, dark pool reporting requirements. You'll be able to find those probably on some sort of a large language model. All right, so the market is falling back in. You just mentioned a little bit there, potential backside trade. And so we take advantage of that. We have less than 10% left on Amazon and about 15 or so % left on SoFi. And that's a little bit too much considering what we're seeing right now. So I'm going to get a piece out at 66 if we can get that. That's falling back down in pretty aggressively right now for SoFi. So yeah, Obi, I think maybe the short might be something to look at there. And then SMX is still talked about on the chat. Like, this is now halted with a tap, guys, which a tap is theoretical auction price. So right now, if it were to open, and when you get into a halt band like this, you get into here. So if you sort it by market time, we'll see right now SMX is now halted, where there's about 7,000 or so shares that they've got to find the right price for, and when they do that will come out. And right now, if they find the buyers and the sellers, it would come out to 390. So the last price that we see printed on here is 382 and change. So it looks like if you're holding this name, well, now it's back down to 380. So I don't know how long this is going to hold for right now, but it's getting adjusted out, and it's currently now halted, along with TGL apparently is halted as well, whatever that is. So we'll just wait on SMX, and when that opens up, I'm sure you guys will tell us, but now it's 371, now 375. So very, very volatile, obviously, on the halt. So again, thanks for the questions about SMX, as we have live market data here. So we can call up any stock that you guys may want us to. So keep those questions coming, and we have no issues whatsoever. There we go. We get some out at 63 there and 66 on SoFi. So getting a little bit lighter here, getting some of our bags out for these longs as we continue to go. Super check. Good. Perfect. I talked a little bit too much. I don't know if you want to talk about your position or this, Rigetti.
No, we can talk about that. So
okay, go ahead.
Rigetti, thank you for the super chat there. Mr. Burheit, RGTI ever coming back? Good buy opportunity? Question mark. Yeah, I don't know, man. Let's take a quick look at RGTI here. Just give me one right here. But yeah, let me pull up the chart and we can take a look at RGTI right there. Cool. So these names were kind of moving around yesterday as well. Strong bids here. I kind of pointed out IONQ from yesterday, and yeah, taking a bit of a pullback here as of right now. But yeah, I pointed out on the weekly chart, they're taking a little bit of a curl. Maybe, are we looking for a secondary leg? I don't know, but I wouldn't kind of speak on is it a good place to buy or not, but the chart does look like it is starting to catch a little bit of a second wind, maybe some curl, but maybe is that the question becomes, is that on the tailwind from the robotics bit, right? So that's the question I would ask there. Definitely doing some decent relative volume here as well. What's going on, Adara?
What's going on here, guys, is a light green market. Let's take a look here at, these sectors look slightly different in terms of how they're presented. We'll start here with electronic tech all the way on the side here. The two Mag 7 names in this sector, Apple and NVIDIA, are relatively flat. We have lots of strength in other names in this sector like Micron, Intel, Broadcom, and AMD. Tech services strong across the board. Finance actually kind of mixed. Robinhood notably down about 3%, but a lot of other names in this sector, including Visa and MasterCard, to the upside. Retail trade holding up well. Producer manufacturing holding up well. Consumer durables, a good look. Consumer services generally pretty strong. And again, keep an eye on this sector here. We've got Comcast within this sector, and I believe also potentially WBD, correct? These, of course, are going to be on watch as the Warner Brothers Discovery bidding war appears to come to an end, with Netflix announcing they're going to be purchasing the company. Transportation, lots of strength. DoorDash really holding down the fort here. Energy, minerals strong. Let's talk about some sectors that are a bit weaker. Utilities with some red, and health tech. A lot of these names relatively flat, but AMZN down about 2% and AbbVie down 1.5%. And do make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content we bring to you guys every single day. Back to you.
Yeah, it looks like that Warner Brothers deal, of course, will be done. And we've had Elizabeth Warren come out and not like it. We had Donald Trump, I think, say a little bit of something about that as well. But the beat goes on for Warner Brothers Discovery and Netflix merge. I guess not a merger, it's more of a takeover there by Netflix, taking over those properties, and be interesting to see what they do with them. All right, SMX opened up. It got to a magical print there, of course, of 420. That was basically, I don't know if it was basically, but almost exactly where we turned around from. It might have got to 422 or so, but look at the spread. You'd have to be, I mean, people are trading this, so I got to be careful what I say, but it's dangerous to trade this. I was going to say, yeah, you have to be a little on the wild side. With $14, $15, when it opens up, it can be $20 or $30 worth of a spread. Go at Bill's camp, asked what a dark pool was, and sometimes that we both get carried away with terminology that for us is second nature and may not be to everybody else. A dark pool is simply like if we come over to a stock that maybe doesn't move as much, and I always use AT&T. These are all shares that are posted live on a live level 2. So right now, IEX has 2,600 shares available for trade or for sale in this situation, and 20,000 shares to buy. Right, each one of these listed on here is 100 shares. But as you can see right here, there's also D-prints happening right now, and you can see 4 shares, 3 shares, 2 shares, 1 share. D-prints signify dark pool fills, and there are many different gateways that print in the dark. Morgan Stanley, all the major Citadel, all the major banks, and very much flows have dark pool availabilities to them, right? Most of them, even ARCA, Nasdaq, all have dark pools that you can address as well and trade through. And what that does is allow, let's just say Obi's, or I'm sitting here, anybody's sitting here with 50,000 shares and they don't want to display it on the level 2, you can sit in the dark. And if someone tries to buy 56s, there's a chance that that dark pool gets filled. At 56, and you don't get to see it on here, but the trade does happen. I don't know what majority right now of orders get filled in the dark, but it definitely seems like a lot. A lot of the volume will get done in the dark, and that's just a preference. So a lot of that routing, when you see midpoints and all of that, like if you try to buy 56 right now, you could run into somebody that's offering 25, 55 half. So that's where you get a lot of these, like look, there's a dark pool right there, 55 half, 55.07. So this is just part of the game, and it's really changed. Like when I first started trading, there were SO's bandits and things like that where you only looked at the market makers and there was no hidden liquidity, but right now there is much hidden liquidity out there and many order types that we can now trade with, including midpoint orders. You can peg OB to the bid or to the ask, as you know, of course. So there's lots of opportunity there for various types of trades. And if you are, or order types, if you are part of the real trading community, you know that our order tree is huge. There's many different routing and gateway opportunities available for you here at Real Trading. So definitely dig into that, or ask your trading floor development team member how to explain that to you as well. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Just chilling out, watching out for this market and looking for the next opportunity. As I know that's something that you always say, what's the next opportunity? And it looks like you got right back into another opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said before, I kind of capitulated into that action, and that's cool. I'm just like, all right, cool. I know exactly what to do with you. Kind of pulling right back in through that 103s, but aggressive bids happening into those 103s right now. So just waiting and watching, seeing if this will potentially come into fruition here. 103, if that's going to continue to stay interesting, I kind of want to leave it alone there. But we did break down that shelf. We were holding that shelf for a while there, and the market's pulling back in a little bit here as well. So 102 halves is the next area I have on watch. VWAP's down at 101.60s there as well. So we're not too far away. We're about $1 away from there as well. Don't forget, Netflix started off around $98 to $99 off of the open, and we pushed all the way up to 104.79. So pretty much came in and clipped that level of interest at that 105s there as well. So just continuing to watch that, continuing to be patient here. Let's see if we can get that reversion to VWAP. I don't see not that far away as of right now, and taking a little bit of a breather alongside the rest of the market here. So that's what I'm watching here on the Netflix. Yeah, if that 103 kind of rebids with any sort of aggression, I'm kind of going to step away from this one as well. VWAP, you know, it's nice to wish for VWAP, but if it's going to show me that it doesn't really want it, then I do have to be wary of that as well.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely check out your markers every day. Like, you know, VWAP is one of them. Sometimes we have trend line breaks or parabolic SARs, whatever you're using for your strategies, please use them. For me, I like the momentum plays. I mean, today I don't think it was rocket science, man. We had Tesla long, SoFi long, Amazon long, Netflix. So those were the names that I wrote down on the note here. And look what Tesla's doing, Obi. I mean, it's just taking out new day's high right now. And we bought this name live on the show yesterday, $11 lower, 457. We put that into our long-term account yesterday, Tesla. We put today, this morning, right at 8 a.m., we bought SoFi long 27.32. That's in our account here today as well for SoFi. We put IoT in there weeks and weeks and weeks and months ago, down there averaging, not months ago, but maybe $37 IoT. That's had a nice little run up side there today. But let's look at some big names. There's some questions here in the chat. Let's look at some names. So there's NVIDIA. NVIDIA, relatively flat. We did see that safe chip hack or whatever coming through there. As we continue to SMX just took out day's high again. So we'll see if, I think Sharif had like a $5 winner on that yesterday, $8 winner on that yesterday, as again, we have no problem congratulating people on their trades, obviously, there. So great job there yesterday. And I remember I looked over and Joe was like, great trade there, Sharif. And Sharif's like, oh my God, it's going higher. That was a lot of fun there yesterday for SMX. So you never know what you're getting involved with every day as you come into trade. But NVIDIA downside a little bit today. You know, I kind of want to just let tech kind of just relax a little bit right now. There's so many other places that remain quite hot right now, including, you know, the financials. We talked about JP Morgan, and that's in Canada. JP Morgan right here, 316, 317. They remain a pretty good trade over the last little while. We just looked at how Tesla's been going up. Let's have a look at the nuclear names here today as SMR. I guess that could have been bought there at $21. I mean, there's no real indication that's JP Morgan still down here, that SMR would have held that level. But look for a break right now of 22.30. I actually really like that, but the thing is, this break maybe gets you to the 200 period. So is it really worth 30 cents there? If you like that break, take some out here, hold it against 22. That's your one-to-one trade opportunity right over there. So that's a good opportunity there for that. And then a big mover over the last couple of days. Apple lost some of their mojo a little bit over, you know, in the last week or so. It was really cruising. I guess it's only two straight down days, and we don't have to worry about it here today. I actually thought it was a little lower than where it is, not flat. But Apple lost some talent there, and you know, I don't think that's too much of a pause for concern. Their story still remains their huge install base. And then we still got to get like the official word, because I don't think there is anything yet, right, Adara? We got to go over to Adara, but there's really no updates on Apple's AI. I mean, we did have a talk about, we thought that there could potentially be a deal there with Gemini, but I don't really think that anything's been settled over there. I do want to go over to SMX. I'm still long from $5. No, that would look like, talk about a retirement trade over there on SMX. Like, is that actually, are our charts right there, Obi? That's what I'm actually going to have a quick look at this, because yes. Oh gosh,
what?
Darn, okay.
Wow.
This is right. Like, this was $11 right here on November the 26th. $11. $440. Obi, why don't you tell me about this name back in early or late November, early December?
I thought I sent you a DM, man.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. No.
I mean, with it must have gone lost in all of the other great picks I've been sending you.
Yes, I think that's exactly what wound up happening on that one. But yeah, if anybody knew anything about SMX, tell us why you thought this could possibly happen there. We do know that it's a very low short, very low float, which is part of that problem as well. All right, without any further ado, she's been waiting for a minute there. It's Adara. Let's go with Money Talks.
Well, Sean, according to a real press release from SMX this morning, apparently they're just saying that this was always happening and the world just needed to catch up. So that is SMX's reason for why it's pushing higher. For the record, that is an official press release that came out today. But yeah, let's talk here, though, about the DXY. The DXY is trying to find some support here around 98.7, just below that previous level of support from mid-November, around 99. We do have to go over some of the economic data that came out today, because this is a massive day for economic data. Basically, all of these PCE prints coming exactly in line with estimates. So PCE year over year, 2.8% versus 2.8% expected. PCE month over month, 0.3% versus 0.3% expected. Core PCE year over year, I was seeing 2.82%, which is, again, basically in line here with estimates of 2.8%. That's the core. Now the core month over month, 0.2% versus 0.2% expected. Consumer spending also came exactly in line with estimates of 0.3%. Personal income, actually for September, a bit higher than we were expecting, though, 0.4% versus 0.3% expected. And then University of Michigan consumer sentiment, this was the actual data that came out for the month of December, and it was really good, 53.3 for the sentiment print, above estimates of 52, and the previous print of 51. And then we actually have the 1-year and 5-year inflation expectations, both lower than expected. So basically that means as of December, consumers are seeing in this survey lower inflation than maybe previously, or they were thinking they'd be seeing, and they're also a little bit more optimistic about the environment. Let's take a look here. By that, I mean the economic environment. These these rate cut expectations here continue to be roughly 87% expecting that 25 basis point cut. Sounds like we are going to be getting that cut in 5 days and 3 trading days on December 10th of 2025. Before we send you back to Sean and Obi, we're going to take a moment to thank our friends at Trade the Pool, guys, because for too long, trading meant risking your own money. You're never having enough to start. The fear of losing, that's what kept so many traders on the sidelines. But that's changing, because Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital, and Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit that profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. It's no fear, no barriers. It's real opportunity. That's the revolution of limited risk trading, which is powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. Back to Obi and Son.
Back again.
Obi's back. Tell a friend. I mean, what a great trade by Obi. Let's go, Obi, right there, bringing in that cash coming through on Netflix. So I know you're catching some strays, obviously, because of that initial short, but you got it again, and that's part of it. And I could just tell people, like, I was, the risk management that you had on that was excellent. So great job there, Obi.
I don't know about excellent. I could have definitely.
Oh, but okay, but you're basically flat now on the day.
Roughly, yeah.
Okay. So whatever, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, Obi. You can go 0 for 1, make it back. I mean, this is what trading is about, right? So I like that. And if I think it was good risk management, you know, it's hard sometimes to judge your own trading, right? And I just think that you were very, very patient with that one. So yeah, it does take a minute sometimes to let these trades work out, right? And you know, so good job over there, Obi.
Like I said, I kind of just waiting for a little bit of a sign. Sure, I can be a little bit tighter here. I don't need to let it come in to where I'm where I know I should be stopping out ultimately. But when it does kind of capitulate and push out, it kind of takes me out as well. So I'm like, all right, cool. I like that kind of you know, exhaustive move there. The market turned as well. Here's the market coming in some more there. So yeah, I did say earlier, when it does come in, I do want to get aggressive even more. You can see here, these entries kind of light, very light. People were talking about it in the chat as well, DCAing kind of I'm just like, okay, well, I don't really think this is, I think this is mispricing in a sense. Sure, I'm definitely not right on the timing, so I'm wrong on the trade for sure. I'm 100% admitting that. But when the actual trade comes in, the question becomes, am I swinging for the fences? And then that is absolutely yes here on the right side of the V, and that's coming in pretty nicely here. So 105s, I did cover all of it at 102 halves there, and then looking for that 103 push back in. So I was like, all right, let's see what we do with 103s. 103s came back in, and that was significant from before. And when we reject 103s with distinction, I'm like, okay, now that's confirmation for me that VWAP, the probability of coming into VWAP just got a little bit higher, so I like that, and just taking some dabbles there down into VWAP. Let's see if that kind of comes into fruition there. But yeah, that's kind of what I was focused on. Sloppy in my eyes, but definitely something I can do a little bit better there. But you know, it's kind of a balancing act.
We got one more reload there. Yeah, good talk there. We got
another
one more.
Amazon.
Yeah, just I mean, Amazon just came into the 200.
230s are a great play.
I know, and I'm trying to see if it could. I don't know if it's going to hold this time. I mean, the market's all the way downside. So I just want to talk about the risk management here. Like, we're not reloading the full amount that we had. It's now 11 o'clock, so you're starting to, the market's trying to figure itself out. Fine, we got to give it sometimes a little bit of minute to exactly do that, and then if Amazon wants to continue downside, we're just going to get stopped out actually on a break of 230. So this breaks 230, we'll give it about a dime more than that, and then we'll see. SoFi, honestly, man, I have, that wouldn't be 10%, that'd be less than 10% left now on SoFi. It's actually 5%. Wow, I don't have, oh, is my mic a problem? Oh, is there a problem with, okay, there we go. My mic was being maybe a little bit sketchy there. Thanks, Andre, for that one. But yeah, so that's SoFi there, Amazon there. Just a quick look on SMX in case any of you maniacs are still in that one. That's up to 460 now, 470, 480. Looks like that high 480 coming out now. And of course, as Adara said, if you ask management, they were expecting this. So nice move up there for SMX. You know, watch out. The dangerous thing about this, of course, is a potential offering, and we talk about that all the time. When you get up to here, find out if they have filed for an offering, because that could come out at any moment here and really send this trade sort of sideways very quickly, and not sideways, by the way, downside right there. Okay, so just quickly here as we get ready to go, man, I know there is a problem. We did hear some problems with our mics there a little bit, so we'll get ready real quick with less than a minute left. Today, look, it's been a real good week for lunch, I feel like, this week. And today is one of my favorites, and I think a very, very traditional lunchtime item. Today is chicken souvlaki.
Okay, I like that.
You gotta like that one. Randy, chicken souvlaki? Wow, Randy. Randy's saying to that one. So we'll stop a fail on that from Randy's side of it. With some pita bread, seasoned veg, Greek salad, tzatziki sauce.
I think that sounds absolutely great.
Me too, man. I am definitely down with that lunch. Randy, I think, just sparked up a little bit there. He's liking the tzatziki, I heard, right there. So yeah, good trading today. Obviously, it's always a pleasure to be with you, Obi. And there we go, Amazon. I'm just going to take another piece out here at 32s. There's the reload, and there's the bang up again. Let's props it up, everybody. That's the good trade there for Amazon. Really happy to have that one. My next out, 230.44s, which I don't know why we're there, but here it goes. Obi, we just reloaded it again, man. I don't know if we've got, what's that Midas magic
prices,
touch over there
prices,
again, but hopefully I'll never be sick so we can keep coming in and making these trades daily. There goes Amazon again, 4 reloads. My number one stock on the day is though SoFi. Number 2 day there for Amazon. I've only had 2 trades. You've been working on that. Man, Randy, I didn't realize you didn't like souvlaki that much over there. This guy's really taking it out.
Breaking down the
on the desk.
stage.
All right, I'm off to the gym, man. We'll do a little bit of free weights today.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we go on the. I always do the elliptical for 20 or 30 minutes. Right, try to burn like 300-400 calories doing that, and then we lift the weights here because I'm trying to aspire to these guys on our left and to you as well, Obi. And then after that, a little 10 minutes in the sauna, a little cleanse, and then we'll come back and we'll see what's going on with the lunch. So that's my plan. You're still in Netflix? No, you.
Oh, I got out.
You're out of that one.
For
all right, the board.
the next one.
When the board's already switched over there, we know we got to go over. So thank you, everybody, for watching here. As the renovations continue, Obi, great show there. Join Obi and myself one more time at 2 p.m. Thank